Welcome to the Monster Castle Radio Show. For the extreme paranormal listener. And here is your host, the Wolfman, Mike.
Yeah. This is where the real freaks hang out, alright? Yeah. Let's hear some rock and roll, baby, yeah!
We had some really strange problems last night. I believe my board is haunted. Are you guys here?
I'm here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I've got a special guest on. Chris Lawrence is with us. And we've got Darren and Jeff. You there?
I'm here, man.
Right on, buddy. I don't know what happened last night. The Skype booted you off, and then we all got cut off mysteriously at the end of the show, 20 minutes early.
Right in the middle of some good conversation, too.
It really sucked, but there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was, we were starting to touch on some touchy issues, and now I'm almost starting to believe some of these other hosts that say when they hit on certain topics that they get shut down. But I think it might have happened to us.
It's possible.
I think someone's listening in.
Well, the show is gaining momentum, so it's very possible. It was
like a train out of the station.
Like a rock and roll train full of grays.
Well, we're just having fun. Everybody wants to join in on it,
It's what all the cool people are doing,
How many people are doing podcasts now? Thousands?
Thousands.
It has to be.
I wonder if there's any websites that ranks them all. I bet that's around the corner.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Rate my podcast. That's what it is.
Does anybody?
I know iTunes does it, but I don't know how to look that stuff up though.
I wonder how many people do paranormal.
Oh no, it's probably thousands. Yeah, I know there's quite a few on
There's
Spreaker.
A lot.
Yeah, there's some good ones on Spreaker. Not just mine. There's like Beyond the Strange is on there, which is a pretty popular show, and Jimmy Church's show Fade to Black is on Spreaker too. And then there's
that's a good one.
And there's other strange ones on there. Yeah. So I've got a interesting story. I got some ghost stories from my town here.
Oh, really?
Guelph, Ontario. Yeah.
Do we have enough time?
Oh, we got lots of time. Yeah, we got lots of time. I got 3 hours, so let's see if I can pull it up. Oh, and also, I don't know why we can't get Marcus on, but his awesome idea has been orchestrated. So we're going to do Name That Monster. And I've posted on our Facebook, which you just look up. You go to Facebook and look up Monster Castle Paranormal, and I posted a picture of a monster. And that's the game is if anyone can name that monster. And I'm not sure what the prize is right now, but we'll figure something out. Maybe the prize could be that you're the next guest on my show.
There you go.
Did I lose anyone here? Okay. Yeah. Looks like I lost Chris.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I just letting you talk.
Oh, and it shows on my screen that you hung up. That's really strange. Okay. See, there's weird things happening already. Oh man.
The guest I had tonight he kept on saying the same thing. Are you sure I'm on? Are you sure I'm on? And I was like, yeah, you're on, man. He goes, man, it don't say that I'm on your Skype. And I was like, man, I'm telling you, you're on my Skype. Skype's having some issues.
So how many monsters do we have on this Facebook? I see the first one here. That thing's cool.
I put one on there. It looks like a knife-headed monster. Yeah, kind of looks like a knife-headed monster. Yeah, maybe I'll post it on the Twitter as well, on 47 #47talk.
Is that the only one, or do we have a bunch that we got to go through?
No, we're just the one for tonight. We're just going to do one every show. That one's it's a hard one. I don't know if anyone's going to get that.
So it has a real name, and we have to guess it?
Yeah, that monster has a name. It's one of those Japanese monster movie. It's one of the old monster movies. I think Jeff Gear could probably guess that. I don't know anyone else that. If Jeff Gear's listening, I'll bet you he could name that monster. Let's see.
Knife head.
Nope. No, it's got a weird name.
It's probably a Japanese name.
Yeah.
What was the name of that turtle that would fly?
Gamera.
Oh.
Gamera?
Yeah.
God, that's right. God, that's from my childhood.
Hey, you're getting hot.
Favorite one.
You're getting.
I hated when he had to fight Godzilla.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, why don't we start out with Chris? Why don't you tell us one of your ghost stories? I'm posting.
I have several, but I know the one I messaged you about was my time at which is crazy, is I didn't really even spend that much time at Bobby Mackey's. There's a place if anyone that's listening don't know, there's a place in Wilder, Kentucky, which is probably close to I would say about 40 minutes from my house. It's a country bar ran by Bobby Mackey himself, and for years they've been saying that the place has been haunted so much that they even put a sign up when you walk in that says that we are not responsible for any paranormal things or ghosts or attacks or anything like that. So even walking into a place like that kind of just gives you the creeps for the fact of they're saying, oh, hey, they might be here. We're not saying they're real or not, but if anything happens, we're not responsible. So even walking into a place like that just kind of gives you the creeps even. So, but the few times that I did go there, I didn't really know going in there that I was in a place that was supposedly demonic and had all these spiritual attachments and stuff like that. I had no idea. It wasn't until I was watching the TV and noticed that I think it was Ghost Adventures. They had did a second investigation back there, and I think like 2009 or something like that. And I had no idea the whole time. I mean, I saw the sign, but I thought, oh man, just publicity and blah 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 and all that other stuff. But just going in there, you just get that feeling that it's like. It's a weird feeling. Like I explained it to somebody, I'm like, and I'm not into drugs, but it's like being high or being kind of like stoned in a way. Like you're there, but your mind's there, but your body's somewhere else, or your body's there and your mind's somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. But the last time that I went there was back in 2012. and I had went there to see one of my buddies. He's been trying to play and get his country stuff out there for a long time now. So when he found out that he's playing there, I tried to tell him several times that, oh yeah, I heard about this and I've seen this and heard about, and of course, just like most people, I don't believe in that shit and all, everything else. But when he took me there, I actually didn't have any experiences when I first got there. The thing that really creeped me out was when I was there, I went with my mother, her boyfriend, and I believe it was my sister and my cousin. And within 5-10 minutes of us being there, my mother had told me, she's like, I think something's touching me. And she's not a really believer in any of this stuff. So, but she's like, I think something just touched me. And I was like, well, it's probably the beer, because it was, it was cheap beer night, so that's another reason why I went. But after seeing her freak out about that, I was kind of like, oh, whatever. And then she got a real bad headache, and she said, I gotta go out to my car to get some Advil. And when she walked out to her car, I kid you not, where her car was at, there was glass all over the ground. Her purse was missing. I had given her probably like $300 to put up for me at the time because of bank issues. And all of the everything was broken. There's glass everywhere, and it was just a crazy sight. And the police came, and they, no one could find out anything. And literally, like, I think it was 3 hours after we had left, I had the worst, terrifying dreams of I mean, some of the weird, some of the weirdest shit I can't even explain. Like being in the building and looking over and seeing somebody that I didn't even recognize in a dress, and I would walk over to her and I would just tap her on the leg, and just kept on tapping her on the leg, and as soon as she turned around, she had no face, and it really creeped me the fuck out. And then the crazy part about it was, after the fact, we got home, my mom's all upset about all of her stuff being stolen and everything else like that, and it turns out that she looked down at her leg, but in that place where she thought she was being touched at, she had a big ass bruise. I even still have she's asleep, but I still have the photo. I'll send it to you, Mike, after like tomorrow or something on Twitter or something. But she had a big ass bruise on her leg, and I was like, oh my god, how'd you do that? And I was about to kill her fucking boyfriend because I thought it was him. And she told me, she's like, that's the spot that I thought someone was touching me. And I was like, oh man. And then when we actually sat down and thought about it, that had to be a sign. I was like, man, someone in there was trying to tell you not to go outside because you're being robbed right now. And with all the reports of it being a demonic location and stuff like that, it just really opened up my eyes that maybe some of this stuff that we think is demonic and just very scary, maybe it's nothing like that. Maybe it's just spirits and trying to get our attention and stuff like that. But how that story correlates into this story is, my friends were trying to, this is probably about 2 years later, my friends are trying to get me to go to Athens, Ohio. And if a lot of people don't know that much about Athens, Ohio, I gotta look it up, it's like the number 1 or number 2, one of the most haunted places in as far as like the state in United States, because there's just, there are haunted colleges, there's haunted libraries, there's just, everything's haunted in Athens, and it's fucking crazy. It makes you think like, oh man, like, and I don't live that too far from there, you know what I mean? But
why do you think it's haunted there in Ohio, in Athens in particular?
There's a lot of rumors with it having to do with if you believe in like spiritual ley lines and stuff like that. They think that because of the ley lines, that it kind of corner sects in the middle of Athens, Ohio. And I'm going to try to get a picture of that real quick while I'm talking about it. But it's almost like it's kind of intertwined within that, and a lot of people believe that. A lot of people believe in that ley lines, that spirits use it to go from here to there and everywhere else. And if you're exactly in the center of it, then that's pretty crazy. Because if you believe that spirits can travel on these, I could see why one location that's crossed like that would be so crazy haunted.
Wow.
But no, I'm about to get to the real good stuff and the F-bombs and the shit bombs and all this other stuff. But they asked me to go out to Athens, Ohio with them. I'm already freaked out. And when this happened, I didn't sleep for about 2 weeks. And I went down to Athens, Ohio, and I stayed in one of my friend's dorm rooms. Right after we left his dorm rooms, obviously we were kind of wasted and buzzed and stuff like that. But after leaving there the next day, he tells me that that room that we were just in, a girl killed herself, and everybody that stays in that room actually either dies or had something going on with it. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And I told him about my experience with Bobby Mackey's, about how my mom and all this other stuff. And he goes, okay, well, I'll take you to a place that you won't think's haunted, but it is haunted. And I was like, okay, whatever. He takes me to an apartment building. It's real run down, it's just nasty. It reminded me of like if I could think of what a project would be, you know what I mean, or something on the lines of that. Just really disgusting, and there's stuff missing off the walls, and it's a really disgusting, horrible area. I'd never have anyone ever live there. Well, we went there, and I had visited one of his friends. His name was Alex Shepard. Actually, I'll give him a shout out, Alex Shepard. And when we had went there, picture walking into a 2-bedroom apartment, and 5 guys and 3 girls are sitting in the living room with sleeping bags and pillows, and you could tell that they're terrified. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And they say, there is something living in, so even me telling it now, I'm getting goosebumps. He's like, there's something living in my bedroom. And the first thing I thought, and I looked at my friend, was, these guys are tripping on acid. You know, they're tripping on something. They've done it before. These are crazy guys or whatever. And they keep on telling me, man, we've been here. We've lived here for 4 months, and none of us, like, we cannot sleep in that room. There's no way we can sleep in that room. And even for them to get a T-shirt, you watch Alex go get a T-shirt. Him running from one side of the room to the next, just grab it real quick and then run out and shut the door. That even terrified me more, because this Alex guy looked like he could fucking play linebacker or something for the Cincinnati Bengals or another good team that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. But it's just absolutely crazy to see a guy that big, probably 6'8", maybe 200 pounds, but jacked. To see someone like that terrified freaked me out, because there's no way. I'm small compared to him. So when I saw that, the first thing I thought was, I was like, this thing's going to come after me, or if he's afraid of it, I just don't want to be around it. Probably 10 minutes after us being there, the lights start flickering on and off. To which my friend said, someone's fucking with us, and he literally went back in that back room, and didn't see no light, came back out, and the lights are flickering. And they're not just flickering like on and off like that old what's the name of it? Old vampire movie. I gotta think of the name of it. Where the guy turns off the lights real slow and real like off and on. Nosferatu? It wasn't like that. This was like frantically. Yeah. What'd you say?
Nosferatu?
Yeah. Yes. It wasn't like that. It was frantically. And we were looking at each other like, okay, whatever, and it turns off. When it turned off, this is the first time that I actually believed in all this stupid shit that people were saying on like the ghost shows. Because I'm really weird when it comes to ghost shows and stuff like that. I either really like it or I hate it, because I think that they overdraw stuff or they only do this at certain times. So I didn't really believe in any of that, like the cold spots and stuff. I thought that could be anything from anywhere. Their whole apartment turned so damn cold. It was probably 20. I would have to say at least 20 below. I could see my breath. And when you went over to the heater in their apartment, you put your hand on the heater, and it is coming out strong. And you put your hand on there, it's almost to the point where it even burned you. They had their heater turned up so high that if you were, I could stand right next to it, and there's no way in hell that I could feel that. There's no way I would feel that. And I told them, I was like, man, you got an air conditioning problem. I'm still looking for like another way out here. You know what I mean? And I literally, my friend Alex that I was telling, Alex Shepard, he sits up in his chair out of nowhere, sits up in his chair while we're talking about this, and starts speaking it in a language that till this day, I've looked it up on the internet. I don't know what language he was speaking. I don't know if it was tongues. I honestly don't know. But it just had a lot of, like, if I could even, like, try to come up with, like, how it sounded like, it sounded like something like, and to me, or anybody, that would scare the shit out of anybody, you know what I mean? Right when that happened, I was like, I'm out of here, and he stood up and in tears, and he said, it's got me, it's got me, it's got me, and it's got me. And as soon as he said that, I was like, I'm fucking leaving, I'm out of here. And my friend said, no, dude, we got to help these people. And I was like, no, they did something, they unlocked something or whatever. And it freaked me out so much. And the fact that his arms, you ever talk about people having like goosebumps or their hair stands up when they make contact with a spiritual presence, like either it's in the room or they were in the room or anything like that. His left arm was covered in goosebumps and his hair was standing up. And if you felt his right arm, it was that as hot as that furnace that they had. It was that hot. And to me, to feel someone have one arm freezing cold and the other one hot as fuck, that also scared the shit out of me. And after that happened, we got the fuck out of there. And even those people that I didn't even know these people were telling me, don't leave us. Do not leave us. Something bad will happen. Do not leave us. And for me not knowing these people, I could have just been like, okay, everyone's on drugs. Where's the strings at? Where's this at? Or whatever. But the next, I think I even asked them, like, right after I left, I asked my friend Mike that was also there. I asked him, I said, what is going on with them? And he said they were fucking with the Ouija board in that room. And they were also trying to cast a spell. I don't know the exact spell. I wish that's the shit I just don't look up because it freaks me out. But they casted my friend John, or the guy named John. He was kind of like off the wall. He was really into voodoo and stuff like that. Well, they were in that room and they were doing stuff with the Ouija board, and they were also trying to conjure up spirits or something to send. Oh, I know what it was called. It was like a shadow something. A shadow ghost or a shadow, I don't know, I have to look it up again. But he sent some type of shadow spirit supposedly to his ex-girlfriend
shadow person?
Because she had broke his heart. What was it, Mike?
Just like, I don't know, shadow people.
Yeah, shadow. It had some type of name. It's a thing where you try to send, you make some type of relic, like a piece of their hair or
that's voodoo, man. Maybe that's
clothing. Yeah.
Maybe that's where shadow people come from. That's the voodoo people putting the spells on everybody.
and I totally. I mean, as soon as they told me Ouija board, I automatically was like, that's probably it. But the fact of that he told me that they were looking up voodoo and stuff like that, and they looked it up on the internet. They didn't even go to books. They didn't do nothing. So the first thing I thought of in my head was, they unleashed something, I don't know what it is, but they unleashed something in that house, or in that apartment, that they didn't know what they were dealing with. I don't even think they looked up the right spells. So whatever, I think they, instead of sending this spirit or being or whatever you want to call it, instead of sending it to where he wanted to send it to do harm to a girl, to kind of like get back at her for, screwing up his life or whatever, I think that they had sent it to their own place. And when they sent it there and then and used the Ouija board to speak to it, I think that just caused problems. And ever since then, they said that it was so bad to the point where when Mike called me and told me that those people had moved out, and everyone called him, the guy's name was Gay John. I doubt he'll ever read this or listen to this because he just don't even know how to turn on a damn fucking computer. But he had told me that even months after they had left, that the lady that was running these couple buildings or whatever, she said that she cannot get them to rent that apartment out to anyone. Anyone that stays there within months leaves. And I told her, I was like, well, I can see that because they messed. I mean, and I don't think anyone told her that the people living in there before did a lot of bad things. And I also think that I also think that, at least in my experiences with stuff, I think that spirits and all the negativity thing. I think when you unleash something such as shadows or I'll just call them spirits. If you release some spirits into the world or whatever, and I think that you already have a negative presence or a negative look on life as it is, I think it automatically attaches itself to you. In some way, it might not be them like physically. It just there's some type of DNA or some type of little even salt grain that falls on you when that happens, and that's something I truly believe. I think that if you more positive people, get the brunt of it too. But I think anyone that already are going in with it negative, like he went into that negative with the fact of, hey, I'm going to put a spell or send something to a girl to terrorize her for the rest of her life. And that is not cool to do anyways, because you're fucking with stuff that you don't understand. You know what I mean?
Did your friend recover? Did he remember what he said? Does he remember speaking?
No, the only thing he told me that he could remember was, he said, Alex told me, he said, the only thing I could remember from that night, man, he said was, I was driving home. He goes, I was driving home, and for some reason, I knew there was someone in my back seat. He goes, I knew there was someone in my back seat, and I did not want to look. And I was like, because I was still freaked out. I was still freaked out, but I wasn't truly invested in the fact that they were having it. I know it sounds weird because you think that, oh man, if lights were going on and off and this and that, I still thought there had to be some type of explanation, just for the fact of it was a shitty apartments. You know what I mean? It's something that you would go to if you had nothing left and you were trying to get housing. And I'm not putting down anyone that actually lives in places like that, but more power to you. But as far as me, I looked at it and I'm like, this place has faulty wires. You know what I mean? The fucking AC's probably messed up. You know, he's probably speaking that because he heard it in a Star Trek movie or something. You know what I mean? There has to be something. But to go back on the dreams, the next week, I swear to God, I slept on my mom and dad's floor for the next week because I had this crazy dream, and I don't even know if it was a dream or maybe it was all in my mind, but I had this vision that the girl that I saw at Bobby Mackey's with no face, her, and some type of the only thing I can describe it to, and I used to tell my friends this and they would laugh, but you ever see this old Scooby-Doo thing, Scooby-Doo show where they talk about the snake demon, and it's like a snake and it stands up and it's got little short arms and kind of big muscular legs and a big ass tail. And for some reason, I saw the image of this girl walking up the street with this, or walking up the steps with this snake. And literally, that's the only time in my whole entire life that my mom pulled me aside and she's like, "Don't fuck with Ouija boards, or you're out of the house. Don't do this, or you're out of the house. No more haunted locations. No more EVPs. No more ghost box sessions." She's like, "You cannot do that stuff. Every time you do that stuff, you open up a little part of you, and it's something that you just cannot get back." So I think that, I'm being completely honest here. If I did not go to those places, I don't think I would ever believed in ghosts or spirits or whatever you want to call it. I would have never believed in those things.
I'm still hung up on the lady with no face. That's pretty weird. But, sometimes that's a better thing than, that's not a bad thing.
Oh, and the thing was, I think it wasn't even the fact that like she had no face. It was the fact that like I could see that her whole face was black. But the thing that frightened me the most, it's like I could almost, and I don't know if anyone has this experience, and if you do, call up the show again. But I felt like when I looked at her, I could feel her heartbeat, even though I know that she don't have a heartbeat. Obviously, if she's a spirit, she has no heartbeat. If you believe in that stuff, she has no heartbeat. But for some reason, I feel like our heartbeat sank up at the same exact time.
Hold on that thought. And it's the bottom of the hour. I gotta put a song on, guys, and we'll be right back. We're taking a short break here. Thank you very much. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Back on now. Hello, everybody. We are back. Do you remember where you left off, Chris? But actually, first of all, I'd like to introduce, we have a caller, and that's Willy. How you doing, Willy?
I'm doing real good, Wolfman. I'm just enjoying the show. I hope I'm not keeping anybody off that's trying to call in. I called in on Skype, and I'm just listening while I'm barbecuing a little bit.
No, we're good. We got about the maximum amount of people on I can put on right now, but I don't know why, but for some reason, Marcus, his Skype won't work tonight, so there's nobody else that we have the guest, and I had room for one caller, so you're him.
Well, he's here in spirit.
Feel free to boot me though if it comes up to somebody else needs to get on here. I'm just enjoying listening to that last ghost story. That was pretty darn interesting.
Okay, well,
Chris,
brother, do you want to continue with that? I loved it too. That's pretty interesting stuff.
I'll continue whenever you want me to, brother.
Go ahead.
Well, let me see. Where did I leave off here? Oh yeah, I was having like, man, these really crazy dreams about the snake. I call it, and I used to tell everybody the snake demon. I'd be like, the snake demon came up the steps, and the lady in white with the no face, and then automatically when I tell people it's a lady in white, they automatically assume that I'm referring to something else that they have heard. Because it has to make sense in the aspect of you're seeing, if everybody, I don't know, it's one of those situations where, like, if you always hear about that ghosts show up in white dresses and stuff like that, you never hear about people saying, oh, I saw the ghost and she was in a red dress or a green dress or whatever, you know. So that might be that spectrum of light that our eyes can only see, that only shows it as white. You know what I mean? So it might be blue, it might be green or whatever. But in my visions I was having, it was definitely a white dress, no face, and literally for weeks I think it's probably close to about like 9 days I slept on my mom and dad's floor. And for someone that age to be sleeping on the floor, my dad thought it was the most ridiculous thing. He's like, you play in metal bands and you're into wrestling and you're into all this other stuff, but yet my son is so terrified, and I refuse to hang out with Mike, my friend Mike, ever again. And I know it sounds bad, like one experience, and you know, who the fuck is this guy to get rid of his friend? It's not that we were even close friends. It's, I think he had that personality and stuff that just, he was definitely going to take me to the worst spots. And it wasn't even about, hey, let's go check out ghosts and try to see if we can get a, you know, EVP or something every now and then. No, it turned into, hey, let's go to see if this things can scratch our faces, or if we can get choked tonight, or hey, if we can do this. So as soon as he started getting involved in that shit, I was like, I gotta get the hell out of here, man. You know, and I always
is he still alive?
Oh yeah, he's still alive. He has, you know, like most people, he's got, you know, issues with well, I don't want to talk about that on here. He just has a lot of personal issues in his life. But and literally from that day on, I would always tell people, don't go to Bobby Mackey's or Athens. Don't go. And a lot of people would tell me, okay, and then they would still go because they watch. And it's hard. I mean, I understand why people don't want to heed those warnings, because it's hard to say, oh man, yeah, bad stuff happens at Bobby Mackey's, I don't want to go there. But it's hard when you see, you know, all these paranormal people doing open houses and having, you know, hunts and stuff like that, and they're on TV, and it's not just Ghost Adventures. Ghost Hunters were there, and International and all these other places were there. So when people see that on TV, they want to go, oh, I want to go and do what they do, which is cool. Well, but I think on the flip side of it, no one realizes the dangers and stuff like that. So I had actually told one of my mother's friends. She actually works with her. I told her, I said, hey, if you guys are going to the bar, go to the bar like you did before. Just remember, you got your purse stolen and stuff before. So if you get that feeling like, hey, something's going to happen, go check your car, or go check yourself in the bathroom, make sure you're all right, you know, stuff like that. Because it really just, She's my mother. I still don't want nothing bad to happen to her. Well, she had told me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Why do you think people get into the Ouija board, and do you think they just want to know if there's more to life?
That, and I think that because of the whole stigma, no matter what anyone says, it has that stigma. It's a game. You can go buy it. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It has that stigma of, oh, well, it's a game. And, yeah, it might mean, oh, my God, are you moving it? I'm not moving it. Oh, you know what I mean? And people see that, and they go, well, they sell it at Kroger, or, not Kroger's, but they sell it at Spencer's in the mall. So, you know what? It can't be real. We can just do it for fun and freak out somebody. So I think some of it, I think there's a lot of people that buy it, that want to buy it for the fact of, yeah, they do want to talk to their loved ones or, or communicate with whoever's in the house, in their house or something. I think they do that. But I also think that if you're going to go in with the mindset of, hey, I want to use a Ouija board, and I've never used a Ouija board. I refuse to. I've stood next to people that use Ouija boards, and nothing good has ever come from that. They either have bad dreams, or their house becomes really haunted, or they wake up with scratches. Like when I had those dreams about the lady and the snake and stuff, I would wake up with scratches in the most weirdest parts of my body that I knew, because I bite my nails real bad, I knew that I didn't do that myself. I don't have animals. I don't have hard things to bust up against or whatever. So I knew because of that, I feel like now whenever I go to do something like that, something gives me a warning not to do that. You know what I mean? Like if I decided right now on the show, hey, we're all gonna do a live Ouija board thing, I would get a feeling or a headache or some type of scratch, or I'd get something that would tell me, don't do that. And that's how my whole entire life with the spiritual realm has been. Like anything that I think I'm getting too far into it, I get a sign. Now, I don't know if it's your guardian angel. I don't know if that's what you believe in. I don't know what it is. But there's some type of feeling or sign that I get that says, hey, don't do this. And that's why I tell people, don't do the Ouija boards. They're bad. They only bring up, and a lot of people that are fucking with Ouija boards have no clue what they're doing. They don't know how to close the circle. They still, they do it in their houses or a place where that has a lot, like I'm a big believer in water and stuff like that being good energy currents and stuff like that. I think that's horrible to do too. I would never do it on a boat. I wouldn't do it, next to a bunch of rocks next to the Rocky Mountains. I would never do anything because everything holds energy. So with that fact being said, I would never do that. So to this day, I tell people, don't do the Ouija board. Get rid of it. You have it in your house, get rid of it. Oh, it was signed by Marilyn Manson. I don't give a fuck. Get it out of your house. You know what I mean? I don't care who touched it or, I don't care.
Hey,
I
don't care if your grandmother came through and told you that you're winning $1,000 and you actually did. Get rid of it because nothing good comes from those. And that's why I tell people nothing good comes from Bobby Mackey's. I've seen too many people go in that place and come out either death. I've heard about people having heart attacks there for no good reason. Healthy people, not fat people that eat a lot. No, healthy people that just got checked up. You know what I mean? I've heard about people getting scratched. I've had the story I was going to say. The lady that works with my mom, she actually went there with her 2 sons, which I couldn't believe that. I was so mad. I was like, I can't believe that you would take 2 10-year-olds in that place. You walk in, you saw the sign. You didn't go, hey, that sign's right there. I need to get my fucking 10-year-olds out of here. But she didn't. And that night, I'm getting goosebumps even talking about it. That night, my mom got a call, and they said that one of her sons was standing in their room with his back to when I say this, I swear to God, I'm not getting this from a movie. She said that she walked in the room, and her son was in the corner of the room, not saying anything. And it freaked her out so much that she went and got her husband and said, hey, something's going on with this kid. What's wrong with our son? I don't know what's wrong.
You mean his face was to the wall?
Supposedly throughout this whole time, her son told them that he didn't remember doing any of this, and supposedly he was so much like stuck in mud, as I call it, or stuck in something, that they could not move him from that spot. Even the husband was like, I go to pick him up, I can't get him to budge. We couldn't. So I stayed there with him and talked to him the whole time. It was absolutely crazy. And I told him, I was like, "Well, is everything okay?" And he goes, "Yeah," except for the fact of when he woke up the next day. Not only did he not remember it, but the part in the room where he was standing at, which has no outlets or no nothing, had burns on the wall. And he had took the pictures, and he had sent it to my mom. I was actually at work when I was talking to him. Saw the pictures. I went to the bathroom, and I don't even fucking care to tell people this. Went to the bathroom and I cried because that to me, a 10-year-old going through that kind of shit, especially like the people in Indiana living in that house. There's no way, man. I would never put my kids through that. I would have moved. I would have called somebody, Catholic Church. I would have done something.
Get some holy salt from Wolfman.
I've dealt with this kind of problem.
Or the holy water.
I don't know. I use salt, and it works really good. Holy water is good for if something is there right in front of you at the time, you spray it at them. But if you want to protect a place, the salt works really good because it's a crystal, and the crystals absorb negative energy, and it's also it stays longer than it'll stay there as a lasting effect.
Oh, see,
I got a couple questions for you. Was the kid facing the wall in the corner?
Facing, I mean, you've seen the like the previews for. I didn't really watch the first one because everyone said it was so bad. But God, what's the name of the movie? It's got a witch in it.
Blair Witch Project.
Yes. Blair Witch. I know. I'm sorry. I had to go upstairs and get my charger real quick. So
no problem.
The girlfriend was like, "Hey, be quiet." And I was like, "Okay, sorry." I'm back in the office now. But
I gotta mention about. Hang on a sec. I gotta mention about the Ouija board. I'm gonna tell you a little story about a Ouija board that I had. We had one when I was in a band. I was about 16, and we used it a little bit. And we tried to burn the thing. We decided there was too many weird things going on. My brother seemed to get possessed while he was playing bass, and then we decided to burn that Ouija board. So we burned it, and the next week when we were about to jam, the guitarist goes into his closet of his room to get his gear out and notices that Ouija board is back in his closet.
Yeah, I had a nun as a teacher when I was in high school, and I was pretty close with her. And she told me a story when she was like 18 or 19. They were playing with the Ouija board, and this is somebody that's not going to lie. I mean, she doesn't lie. Anyways, there's 4 of them, and it lifted off the table and flew directly into the wall full speed. And she said that was it. That, in fact, that
4 Ouija boards or 4 people?
The whole board lifted and just slammed against the wall.
No, you said there was 4 of them.
Well, they were around the table, but it lifted up. And then when the board itself lifted off the table, hovered, and then slammed into the wall full force.
Did it fly like a frisbee, or did it go flat like a pancake?
Flat.
Okay, that's weird.
Wow. Yeah. So that she, I guess it scared her and made her believe, and then she ended up becoming a nun later. So, but that's the only spooky story that I've heard.
So that's one way of getting away from it.
Yeah, I guess.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Mike.
Any questions?
Was it like from? I mean, and this is something I really is kind of cool to ask you because I don't really know too much about it. But isn't burning a Ouija board like really bad? You're not supposed to do that, are you?
I have. I really don't think it's a good idea. I wouldn't suggest that. I think probably put it into a cabinet with lots of crystals and a glass cabinet maybe.
What did you do with it when it showed up again?
I don't know what he did with it. I can't remember what he did. I don't remember the rest of that. I don't think he messed with it. I think he just left it there.
I think the only Ouija board we ever had like around the house was again, like I said, with the person going out and getting it because it's a game. My older sister, or the oldest of the sisters, she's 23. She went out and got a Ouija board, and try to bring it in the house. And I don't think I've ever. I mean, I've been through some sticky situations. Like I said, I've been in metal bands and stuff with fans trying to fight me, or playing with the straight edge band, and we're smoking cigarettes, and they don't like it, and they just want to beat us up for something. I've been in some sticky situations where I had to kind of man up. That was a long time in a while where I told my sister, "There's no way you're bringing this in my house. I don't even want it on the porch or nothing." And she's like, "Well, whatever." Blah, blah, blah. And they did it on my back porch. They did it on the back porch, and till this day, every time I go over to my mother's house, I get the weird feeling in the pit of my stomach every time we walk out there to sit. I know, and a lot of people say, well, Ouija boards, when they do it, and you want it to, not want it to stay in your house, but if you want it to kind of be there, then doing it outside is the best method, and that way it don't get attached to anything. I think that's bullshit. I think they can get attached to anything. But as soon as that happened, and I said I don't want to know nothing about it, my mom had brought up my name in it and said, "Hey, ask a question. You don't have to put your fingers on it. Just ask a question, and I guarantee you, ask something that I won't even know." And I remember before my grandpa passed, he had told me that he was really, really sorry for what he did to me when I was 8 years old, and my mom said she didn't even know this, and I said, "What are you talking about, Papa?" And he goes, I sold all your the Disney collection to me you have on VHS," and I said, "Yeah, the whole collection." He goes, "I sold that to get beer. I told somebody that they broke into our house. It never happened. I sold it to get beer." And I told my mother, I said, "Ask the Ouija board what was the one thing that my grandfather sold of mine to buy beer?" And the thing spelled out DISNEEEY. And that's as close as Disney as you can get.
Wow.
So I was pretty much done with that. I took it. I gave it to a friend when my sister was at work, and I was like, "You need to get rid of this. I don't care what you do." And he did it the smart way, like Mike said, of trying to take care of it. He put it in a bag with a bunch of crystals, a black bag, because he said there's a difference between stuff like that. He said it had to be a black bag. It couldn't be a white bag or a gym bag. It had to be a black bag.
That's true.
And he had took it and took care of it, and he said that he buried that whole entire thing with all that stuff into the ground. But he said it had to be sacred ground. That's the stuff I just don't understand. That's the stuff that someone having like a demonologist or someone on there to understand.
I'm glad you mentioned that though, because that's the other part I forgot to say. The best, and after you or crystals, glass, and then bury the thing in sacred ground by an oak tree or cemetery.
By some, yeah, that's what he told me. He said somewhere either by the cemetery, but not in the cemetery.
Yeah, I would say anywhere's just outside of it is a little more respectful, but it's still sacred ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea. That's what I would suggest, actually. And if you can have somebody that knows what they're doing to do a circle around that with salt and then bind it.
Mm-hmm. And just doing cleansings too. Like a lot of people think that just doing cleansings is because of spirits, and a lot of times it's good to do that. But I'm a real big believer in just cleansings, too. Or what I mean.
Yeah, you could use this pentagram and then draw it with salt on top of the burial mound. Like do a circle around it and then do a pentagram. Mm-hmm. And while you're doing that, just keep saying, "I bind you, I bind you, I bind you. I bind you, spirit." If you know the spirit's name, use his name and then bind it. Anyone can do this.
What about your magic wand?
Well, I've used the magic wand to keep things back away from me if there's something. Yuck Nasty's in the chat room, everyone. Right on. Also, I gotta say, Ronald is in our chat room, and he says, white is neutral, black is not. And I said, so what is gray then? And he says, confusion.
I guess black is the absence of color instead of, I used to think it was all colors, and white is all colors. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I had a little bit of an idea. I still
Black is
thought
the
that was
absence.
so strange that that he had done that in the first place. Like when he had took it and he tried to explain to me the difference between white bags and black bags, basically saying that like a white bag was and maybe it's just because of the whole sight of it maybe in your brain, but like it made a lot of sense. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm getting something out that I know that's not malevolent or anything like that or evil, a white bag's good. If you know it's going to be something that's evil or maybe that can get attached or that kind of stuff, black bag.
Yeah,
It sounds about right, but I don't know. It's just the way my buddy Ian did it. So,
It's
Willie,
about
are you
good,
still there?
too,
Is Willie still on the line?
Yeah, I had it muted.
Hey,
Do you have any ghost stories or any Ouija board experience?
Well, of course, sure I do.
Ouija board?
Well, not so much the Ouija board. My mother had a Ouija board experience, and I was laughing when you were talking about the nun, because, honest to God truth, my mom actually was a nun. She graduated high school and went to college when she was, I don't know, 13 or 14 years old. But when she was in college, she went from South Texas all the way up to Cincinnati, and
hell yeah.
she was doing something. Yeah, she was doing some weird thing, Ouija board or whatever. It was something about a date or something, and basically she related as it explained to the T exactly what this guy was going to be wearing or something like that. And since that, yeah, I will never screw around with these damn Ouija boards. I took my mom's advice for that, and I won't do it. But yeah, she was a nun. Actually, she was a nun, she was also a school teacher and a Catholic thing over in Cincinnati. That's what made me laugh. I was thinking,
Where at in Cincinnati? Where at in Cincinnati?
I honestly don't know exactly where. I just know in Cincinnati area, and I just know that one of her students was George Clooney when he was a little kid.
No way.
That is
Yeah.
true. That
Yeah.
one I know is true. Like I say, I always get told all the time, Cat Williams, and even Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle actually grew up, and he actually does have a house. No matter what anyone says is bullshit, he has a house out in Georgetown, Ohio, which is probably about 25 minutes from Cincinnati, downtown.
Well, then you know all my family over there in Wilmington, then.
Oh, Williamton? I just say I live in close to like Beachmont.
Oh, yeah,
Wilmington State area.
Oh yeah, Batavia.
Yep, Batavia. Yep.
Willie, excuse me, Willie, are you talking on a speakerphone?
Headphones.
Oh, you got headphones on?
Yeah.
Okay, it sounds
a
lot better than last time.
They might be dying. I just heard them beep.
Yeah, it's starting to do something strange, but it sounded great to start out with. You're way better sounding than last time you called. But go ahead, guys. Oh, I got to put a song up, and so we got like 5 minutes. No, you got a couple more minutes, and I'll put a song up, and we're going to have a little break.
Oh, so, hey, what's the caller's name?
That's Willie.
Willie?
Alaska Willie.
Alaska Willie. Hey, so since you're kind of familiar with the area and stuff like that, have you ever heard stuff about Athens, Ohio being real haunted and stuff like that?
No, I really didn't. A lot of my family still lives over there by Eastgate, Batavia, and Williamsburg, Wilmington. But I've been over there in years.
He's losing his sound. That sucks. I think his headphones died.
Oh, you guys can't hear me?
Yeah, it's dying.
No, I can hear.
It's going really quiet.
Yeah, it goes in and out of quiet and loud. But it's all good.
I hear him.
Yeah,
Okay.
my headphones died, so now it's just I'm just regular talking on the regular cell phone here.
Sounds fine. Sounds 1,000 times better than last time.
Well, just speak as directly in the mic as you can, and don't have it on speakerphone.
Okay, let's see here.
He's in Alaska, so.
So I'm gonna put a song on now, guys. This one is for Chris. You said you like metal. This is a old metal band I was in. I hope you like it. This song is about sleep paralysis, and it's called "Forget to Breathe."
It's awesome.
Creeping through the night, ultraviolet sight, razor fangs gleam white in the phosphorescent light. Never ever catch me escaping my body. I enter your mind and show you my dreams. Alone inside, you cannot hide. No one can hear your screams. Hold my arms that you coming in to get you. Maybe you'll forget to breathe. Thunder shakes the ground, and you're swirling round and round. You'll never ever catch me escaping my body. I enter your mind and show you my dreams. Alone inside, you cannot hide. No one can hear your screams. Oh, but I'm set you coming in to get you. Maybe you'll forget to breathe.
All right,
Barbecue.
We're
I'm in and
back.
out.
Oh, but I'm set you coming in to get you. Maybe you'll forget to breathe. Sky is dark and red. Are you alive or dead? And that the things you fear and dread, well, they are only in your head. You'll never ever catch me escaping my body. I enter your mind and show you my dreams. Alone inside, you cannot hide. No one can hear your screams. Oh, but I'm set you coming in to get you. Maybe you'll forget to breathe.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I hope everyone's having fun tonight listening to our show. We got some more surprises coming up. Right now, I think we're just going to get back with Chris. Because you got some great stories, bud. Anybody have any questions?
Honestly, I really want to hear.
Willie.
Willie,
Willie's
okay,
story, yeah.
Okay, Willie was gonna. I interrupted Willie. That's right. So continue on with your story, Willie, please.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Well, basically, you know, it is what it is. My folks got divorced when I was a teenager or whatever, and we moved down to Texas. And we moved into one of them, you know, big-ass houses or whatever that you'd see on TV or whatever, you know. It was only 2 stories, but it looked like it was 3 stories, and it had the wraparound porch. I went almost plantation-like, but not really. And anyway, it had like the downstairs area for the dining room. It had like glass walls instead of regular walls. They were made out of glass, and so there's always glass doors that you had to open and stuff when you're downstairs. My mom had a big ass baby grand piano downstairs and stuff because she was a musician. And anyway, and it also had one of them old ass crank phones that wasn't even plugged in. It was just for, you know, show or whatever. But we got down there and we're living there, and it was, quite a change for me and my brother and my sister, divorced and all that crap. But anyway, we get in that house, and everything's fine. And then all of a sudden you start hearing like a footstep here, footstep there. And we were there for, I don't know, almost 2 years. But anyway, the damn crank phone would start freaking ringing. And you pick up the little thing and put it on your ear, and you could hear static like it was plugged in. And this thing, wasn't plugged into nothing. And then, it had one of those big-ass staircases to go upstairs, And one time we were over there, I think I was 13 or whatever, and I had a bunch of buddies. We're all staying the night. And you can see, like, these little red eyes, like, show up on the wall, and we're all, laughing and whatever. And, it was what it was. And then one night we heard, like, the piano sound like it was playing. We walked down the damn stairs like freaking Scooby-Doo. We were like 6 of us joining arms and stuff. Anyway, we get down there and it stopped playing or whatever. But I don't know. It is what it is. But it got to the point where, my sister was always gone, and my younger brother would go wherever I'd go. And so I used to go stay the night at my friend's house. We'd have fun. But then it was like one night, it just dawned on me. It's like, damn, man, I left my freaking mom at that house all by herself. And it was like the first time I ever got up from my friend's house where I was having a good time, went home because I was scared for my mom, just knowing that all these weird things were happening in that house. But later on in life, I don't know, I'd moved away, and maybe a year or 2 years later, I went back down to visit my buddies, and we were all talking about all that crazy stuff we'd seen at that house and stuff. And matter of fact, it was actually on Elm Street, as for a coincidence, because it had these giant elm trees that grew straight up, and it looked like they were pointing their damn branches right in the house. But anyway, we drove over there. We were gonna knock on the door and run or whatever, and so my buddies got out of the van we were in, and I was still sitting there, and I look up because it had like all these little spots on the roof, like where it should have been a deck, but it was just roof. And I swear, I'm not making this up, man. Going back to the Scooby-Doo thing, it looked like one of them things. It was just like this glowing man, and he was like laying there. And I'm like, holy crap. My friends, they knocked on the door and came running back, and we're all looking at it. We're like, what the hell? Anyway, that's I can't put into words all the stuff in there, it just whatever. But something that is provable that happened, maybe even scarier, was like literally, I don't know, 4 houses down, because this was a pretty good dang neighborhood down there in Texas. There was a house that had like toy cars, but they were actual, real automobiles. They could actually drive them, and their house was built to look like a freaking, like what a little kid would make a toy house look like. I mean, it looked like something. It didn't even look like a real house. But anyway, these people lived in there, and being down there where I was at in Texas, it was a good neighborhood. You didn't really know who your freaking neighbors were or anything like that. You didn't talk to them. Anyway, come to find out, like a year or so, or 2 years after we had moved, they had a big thing because I forget what we called it, toy house, whatever it was. There was a family living in there, but there was also, just like in the movies, and I swear to God, I'm not making this up, guys, there was someone that was living in between the walls and in their attic for like 4 or 5 years. And this all took place when I was living down there, and plus the 2 years or whatever it was till I went back. And it took them that long to find out someone was actually living in the house with them. And that to me maybe was a little bit scarier than what I went through. The ghost thing, whatever, that was at house, it didn't seem like it was a mean thing or anything. It just, I don't know. It was just, it never did anything to hurt anyone, didn't scratch, didn't do anything like that. It didn't, it wasn't a scary ghost, but it was always something that was there. And that stuff on the phone, was pretty weird. And the piano playing was pretty weird.
What about the red eyes? How long did you see the red eyes?
Well, that was one night when I had 4 or 5 of my buddies there. And we were talking about all the weird stuff, and it shows up on the wall, and we're taking turns, and we're going over in front of it and putting our arm in front to make sure, to prove that it's not like, a light being shown onto the wall. And, but as I get older and I look back on it, man, I honestly think, because I was a teenager, my sister and my brother were teenagers, and my friends were all teenagers, I honestly think that there was some shit that we were doing at that age that caused that stuff. I honestly believe that. Because I remember being a teenager, going through a hard time, divorce and all that crap. Like being able to lay on my bed sometimes and stare at a poster and just wish it would fall down, and son of a bitch, it'd fall down 30 seconds later. So I don't know if it was a ghost, but I think it had to do with something with what we were going through and our age. I really do believe that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Kids are always targets, it seems.
No, it happens around that age. That's quite common. That's the age where stuff happened to me, like my bed lifting up.
There's also the theory that, the teenagers are really good with the telekinetic and psychokinetic abilities, and that it's just, when you have all those emotions, and hormones, and your mind's still young, and you're still kind of tapped into the, I guess, psychic abilities when you're, as a child. So there's some people that say that it's not ghost, it's really just a manifestation of your mind doing these things. But they're still real. It's just the theory is that it may be from inside of you rather than something outside.
That's what I think. I think it was something that we made. I don't think it was something there when we got there. I think it was something that came out of our teenage minds going through a tough time and stuff. But there was definitely something there, because it wasn't just me. It was, my whole family plus my friends several times. And then seeing that freaking Scooby-Doo ghost ass up on that damn roof. But there was definitely something real there. But I do believe it's something about that age. We're able to bring it across or make it ourselves. I don't know, man.
Hey, Willie, Wolfman has a guest that comes on that has the coordinates for the Noah's Ark. And it's out in the Bering Sea.
Bering Sea, really?
Is that far from you?
Yeah, it's quite a ways from me, yeah.
Okay. So we can't send you out there to find it.
Hell, I'm way closer to all you guys than I am the Bering Sea, I think.
Yeah, that's way up there, isn't it?
It is. It doesn't look like... Yeah.
She was on last night. It was pretty funny.
And she's serious. Thinks the Noah's Ark is there, huh?
I gotta tell you guys, can
maybe
I jump
she'll
in?
come on later and talk about it.
Caveman Ugg is saying hi to everybody on Twitter.
Cool.
What's up, Caveman?
So
Well, he
shout out
knows.
to
I've been
Caveman.
liking everything that he posted, so he knows.
And, yeah, Ronald helped me again from the chat room of Spreaker with my sound. I guess I forgot to turn the volume up on that song, so next show I'll play that one again. I guess the volume was clear, but the volume was low. So, no problem. We'll do that again next time. I saw what I did wrong and fixed it. Sorry, everyone. Okay.
We'll forgive you.
I didn't see this chat room on Spreaker.
It should be. Oh, geez, I'm not even sure how a listener should. I think you have to have a Spreaker account. I think you have to.
Oh, is that it?
I think you got to create a Spreaker account, and then you can chat with what you're listening to.
Oh, okay.
I had a chat, I think, to it. I think I have the Spreaker app.
Well, you
I
guys
think
were
I-
chatting with me on that last time.
I thought I did, yeah. I don't have a Spreaker
There is
account
a
like
chat
you.
room in Spreaker for our show.
Or maybe I signed up for it. I don't know.
Or you
Just
can
sign
go,
your name in.
Or you can just go to hashtag 47talk. That's the one we use on Twitter. Hashtag 47talk.
Yep.
So that
Hell, I just used freaking Skype 2 weeks ago. Now I got to learn how to use Twitter. Damn it.
I'm in the same boat. I was just trying to figure it out the other night. I kept asking Wolfman questions, and he's like, just get on YouTube or Google it. That's funny.
Oh, I was at work, so I couldn't really. I was trying, but it was hard for me to get back to you when you needed it. I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we don't.
Jeff, have you got any questions for either of the guests, the caller or the guest?
I was just wondering if anybody has any like pictures or anything they could send on over, and I can post these up. Any evidence that you have, anything.
Well, Chris posted something on. Chris posted something on my notifications.
We were talking about Ouija boards, and I couldn't remember the name of the band, but I remember my friend was telling me, he's like, man, this band did a Ouija board when they were recording their album, and the Ouija board fucked up everything. And I couldn't remember the name of it, so I had to look it up. But the band's name was Mars Volta, and they're like kind of like I guess I don't want to say I'll say they're like a Led Zeppelin like band, and they actually just some of the stories that they had told. I never thought this was real until I actually read it, and it said that they were in the Bellum in Gotham in Jerusalem, and they said that they were while they were on tour in the studio, they decided to start using a Ouija board, and all of a sudden things started getting strange. They said that a lot of weird things were showing up on the Ouija board and stuff, and they said that when they returned to start recording their record, that the studio flooded, and that there was a lot of malfunctions in their equipment, and that they didn't even want to turn around because when it was happening, that they swore that their spirits were standing behind them. So he said when this happened, he broke and buried the Ouija board until everything had calmed down, and then they had actually went back and recorded the album, in which the lead singer said, and I quote, he said it was thrilling. He said it was crazy and thrilling at the same time. It was some kind of a sinister amusement park ride. You get in and you discover that Satan is in control, and he's smiling and has no intention of ever slowing down until everyone's screaming at the top of their lungs. And I thought that story was kind of crazy. It kind of gives you chills because these are this is not some underground band. I mean, they've sold so many albums, and for them to experience the same thing that we've experienced kind of even brings more validation that this stuff does happen, and that it's not good that we just, and if you are going to do it, which I don't recommend it, but if you're going to do it, just make sure you know everything about it going into it.
That's interesting. There's a lot of rock bands and people in rock bands that are interested in the paranormal, and there's always a demonic rumors swirling around all these old rock and roll bands.
Supposedly the devil created rock and roll, so
yeah, down at the crossroads.
Yeah.
Well, the guy from Blink 182, he believes in UFOs for sure. I don't know why, but he even asked the president about it when he was there.
No, was there the guest just asked about proof of the paranormal? Was that right?
Right. I was asking if you had like any picture or video. I mean, any type of like first-hand evidence.
Right.
I don't have myself any personal like of mine that I could actually say, oh hey, this is my EVP. But I do have EVPs and pictures of friends that I've been on investigations with that have taken pictures of spirits in the window. The only picture that I have is I have a picture of me and my son. He's 5 years old now, but I got a picture. I just gotta find it, but I have a picture, and in the picture I'm holding my son. And while I'm outside talking, I kept on talking about how, like, I felt like my grandmother was near. I just felt like my grandmother was near. And every picture that we had taken from that time outside, you could see white drooping orbs. And they weren't just like a little orb there. No, these were just like, it looks like someone took a paintbrush on the camera and just right up in there. And till this day, I always thought it was snow. I told everybody it's snow, it's snow, it's snow, it's snow. And then when I showed people it, they were just like, snow don't move in that aspect of it for it to capture on your phone or on my camera. So, I mean, that's the only one that I could think of off the top of my head that I have. But I know I can get a hold of Ryan Hine and some other people that I know that have gotten hold of some pretty crazy stuff. You know, a couple of them I'll listen to, and some of them I won't listen to because I don't want to open myself up too much. You know.
What about doing EVPs? Is that dangerous, like a Ouija board, do you think, or do you think it's just recording stuff? You think you're opening yourself?
I don't know. That's kind of like a toughie one. I totally believe that when it comes to the spirit box. Well, I guess with the spirit box is a little bit different because you're messing with frequencies on and that kind of stuff, which is the same thing as an EVP, but it's just registering a lot, differently. But in my opinion, I don't think a lot of times EVPs do that because it's just that's my personal opinion. But as far as ghost box and stuff like that, I've seen people that told me that their house wasn't haunted, and then they go in with the ghost box, and all of a sudden now it's haunted. So that's another reason why. I mean, again, have fun, kids. Go out and do whatever you want to, but just be careful with it. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like Willy.
I was going to say, as far as proof, my mother's got a photograph that I think is pretty compelling. I was with her when she took the picture. We took a picture of that house after we moved. She took 2 of them, and in one photo, everything is fine. The second photo, there's a tree and there's a freaking shed right there. And I don't know if that's like a time travel or whatever, but yeah, I can. My mom's down in Oregon, but if I ever get a chance to bring it up to her, that to me is freaking compelling evidence. It's 2 photos taken, in succession, and there's obviously a shed right in the middle of the freaking photo, right in front of the damn house. The second one, whatever, there's nothing there.
And do you think that they would have the positive? I mean, what kind of camera was it? Is it like an older camera or?
Yeah, it's regular film. This was 20 years ago, probably.
Oh, so you definitely had the positive and the negatives of them.
Well, I don't know about that. I just know she's got the photos.
Oh, okay.
Because she got into photography and started doing her own developing and all that stuff. But
so what was the shed there for real?
What's
or
that?
Not there? Was the shed there for real? Like afterwards?
No, there's no shed there.
Wow.
And there's tree. There's a tree there or whatever trees. I can't remember, but it is. I've seen a lot of evidence or whatever you call it on TV and all that crap, and none of it personally was as compelling as this. But
I wonder if there was a shed there. Like if you could see on the ground that there used to be a building there.
Yeah,
that would be really
research and see if there was actually one. That would make me shit my pants.
Yeah.
If I had went back and I said, was there really a shed here and trees? And they said, oh yeah, it looked like this, and here's an old picture of it. And I saw a picture of it, and it was almost the same. I would, oh man, that'd be great evidence, brother.
Well, I don't remember. I don't remember if there was a shed there or if there wasn't. I honestly don't remember, but there was either no tree and no shed, or there was. I just don't remember exactly what the discrepancy was, but it's freaking about as obvious as you can get. I mean, so I don't know. But yeah, I'll see I'll ask my mom. You know, she's older, but maybe she still got it around, and that'd be something cool. I could send one of you guys away. It's definitely very interesting, I think.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to see it too.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Yeah. and maybe some weird shit happened with camera. I don't know, but all I can say it's there's no trickery or fakery or anything like that. I mean, it's a 25, 30-year-old photographer. It's cool. I remember because he built a dark room and stuff. She got in photography, and I remember developing photos and all that stuff. What I remember about that damn dark, freaking mushrooms used to grow down that son of a bitch because it would freaking flood. But I remember her coming out with these photos. She's like, "Oh man, look at this!" And we're like, "Wow, this is freaking amazing." But yeah, I'll see if I can dig that up. It'd be pretty damn cool, to be honest with you.
Mushrooms used to grow in there?
Yeah, it flooded and there was carpeting in there.
It would grow in the carpet.
Oh man, you'd have freaking mushrooms the size of freaking damn near a Volkswagen growing in there. It was bad.
Mushrooms are so weird. They grow anywhere that it's perfect for them to grow because mushroom spores are everywhere in the world of every mushroom because they're so small. But it has to be the perfect location, and then they'll grow.
The strange thing about mushrooms is actually that the same spore produces different kinds of mushrooms depending on what it's growing on, what surface it's growing on. Like you could make, if you're growing in mushrooms in manure, like I used to be a farmer, so I know this stuff. I worked at a mushroom farm. But you can grow out of manure, you get the little white button mushrooms, and out of a log, a rotten log, you'll get shiitakes out of the same spores.
I heard that the spores were everywhere, and it all depended on what kind of, it has to be a moist ground.
Exactly, they're flying around. You're breathing them in all the time.
Yeah, they're like super small. My neighbor's got mushrooms all over his lawn, and he's the only one in the whole neighborhood that does. And it's like every type of mushroom. He's got like 5 different types, and you just grow there. I asked him what he does. He's like, nothing. I don't know what's going on. They're weird.
I used to know a guy named Mario that had a bunch of mushrooms.
She's in our chat room. I'm going to shout out to Wisteria Whisper, and she's having sound trouble. She lost our feed somehow, but I don't think anybody else is having trouble. So could anybody in the chat room confirm that with me? Did you guys having trouble with the feed, or can you still hear us? Anyways, continue, guys. I just had to say that.
How do you grow mushrooms?
You impregnate the surface with the spores. It has to be sterile too. It's very, very sterile.
And you get the spores off of another mushroom?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that because we got it in we get it in bags that are already, and then we just mix those in to the manure, and it all mixes up together, and then it's sterilized manure, and then it gets pushed out into these steel beds, and that's it. You just let it sit in there, and it's a sterilized environment. If any bacteria or anything wrong comes in there, it'll wreck those mushrooms.
The damn mushrooms we had, the basement flooded where the darkroom was, and these son of a bitchin' mushrooms grew in the carpet. They grew right out of the carpet.
Wow.
That's sick.
Yeah.
What kind were they? Any idea? What'd they look like?
They were huge. I mean, huge. I mean, there was like, we let it go for a while there, but hell, I don't know. Maybe one of them was, I don't know, 3 feet long probably. It wasn't the kind that looked like the damn Smurfs lived under. It wasn't a pretty mushroom. It was just like this big white glob.
Oh yeah, that sounds more like a bacteria growth or fungus. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen some weird shit behind this guy's furnace one time, and it was a yellowy, white, big formation. Yeah, that was really weird too.
I once saw a mushroom. Well, I guess it's a fairly common mushroom, but I'd never seen one. It looked like a pizza with feta cheese on it. It was like a foot across. It's huge. I guess it's a psychedelic mushroom too.
Oh, yuck. Did you try eating it?
No. No, I'm afraid of mushrooms. I did a report in college on that family of 7 that all lost their kidneys because they thought that they were from Japan, and they saw this mushrooms, whole bunch of mushrooms down at the fish ladder area, and then they all lost their kidneys because they ate it for dinner. And I've been afraid that I would need to be with an expert before I tried anything, I think.
I have to read this. This is amazing. He said, Caveman said, mushrooms through carpet brings new meaning to carpet munching.
Leave that. Oh, he comes up with some good ones.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a carpet muncher himself, I heard.
Yeah. Dude, I freaking stood out with the ugliest girl in freaking town tonight. I don't even want to talk about women.
Oh, this is this is a whole new ghost story.
Did she have a face?
She was female, right?
What's that?
Hey, she was a girl. That's good.
Yeah. Somewhere underneath there was a girl. Believe me. Holy shit. Good Lord.
I don't care if she's a witch. If she's a girl, come on in. That was so funny.
This girl, man, she'd have to walk freaking sideways to get into my place. Holy crap. But yeah, she shot me down.
And she shot you down?
Yeah, after I even freaking wined her and dined her with some goddamn beers, man. She drank freaking 90% of my 18-pack. And, yeah, and then she gets all high and mighty. Good Lord, woman.
I don't know why Caveman wants to bonk Ronald in the chat room, but yeah, I guess Caveman gave Ronald a bonk. Wow.
I think you should give Willy's date a bonk or two.
Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. Let's, for the ugliest woman in Alaska. How's that?
I found her.
Okay. Now we are gonna hear
Let's hear some rock and roll, baby. All right, yeah. It's actually not a really big rock song. But it's a nice song.
Everybody
We are back, everybody. All right. Oh,
Woo!
man. Wow.
Yeah.
We're having
I can
fun
kind
today.
of do some of
All
those
right.
noises.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. We're gonna Oh, I got a ghost story. You guys want to hear a local ghost story from Guelph here?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us your story.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this up. It's pretty cool.
Hey, big boy, talk spooky to me.
There's a ghost on with us. Okay, this following report was sent to Guelph Paranormal. It's Cold Spot Paranormal Research. I don't know if you guys heard of that one. And this is it was on March 4th, 2012. It was another typical Thursday afternoon. I was at school in the tutoring room. I was working on algebra. I suddenly saw a man in the corner of the room. Somehow I knew right away that he was a ghost. And somehow I wasn't scared. He had a black mustache, bald, 6 feet tall, and wearing a tie. He was looking out the window. After 5 seconds, he vanished. I never told anyone about this story. I don't know why. I don't ever feel like it. But yeah, this was submitted by Jeff. And that's it. He didn't give his name. But yeah, this is a cool website. So I think you can find any city. You just look up Cold Spot Paranormal Research, and I think she's out of Toronto, but now she's in the States, LA too. She's got stories from every city. So if you want to find out some ghost stories from your particular city, you can just Google it and then put Cold Spot Paranormal Research and then your city. I think that'll work. Here's another one. One afternoon last summer, this is September 23rd, 2005. One afternoon last summer in our bedroom, raised bungalow, my family and I were having a relaxing day from what was left to a hectic weekend. What was left of a hectic weekend. I was doing laundry in the basement and I saw my young 3-year-old daughter come down the stairs and run right by me. There's only one room in the basement besides the laundry room, and that is where Nicole entered, which is our master bedroom. Then I entered my room where she had gone. I noticed that she was not there. I know for a fact she did not come out, and I was right beside the doorway. I walked upstairs where my husband is and the 12-year-old daughter and asked them if they saw Nicole run by. Both said she was fast asleep in her bedroom. I glanced in on her, and there she was fast asleep in her bed. To this day, I'm not sure what I saw and what really happened, and this was only the beginning of what was to come next.
Oh boy. Sounds like she had an out-of-body experience.
She doesn't finish the story. I'd have to look into this further, but that's pretty spooky. I got chills when I read that.
It is. Yeah, that's a good one. Maybe she was out of her body. She could just see her.
Oh, that's
walking
true.
around.
It could be. That could be the out of body. Yeah, because kids can do that sometimes, and actually, it's been reported that some people can actually physically manifest themselves like another body. Just actually materializes where it has form and it's weight and it's a solid. You know what I mean?
I'd like to be able to astral project at least once. It'd be cool.
They mentioned that on that one of the shows I heard last about there's a big difference between astral projecting and actually manifesting in a material way. And
Right, they were another thing they called it. It's called bilocation. So you can exist in your body here, but you can project yourself somewhere else at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of ghost stories like that where you see something that you think's in the house, and then they're in a different spot, or a dog walks by and the dog's actually still in the back. Stuff like that.
Has anyone in that's listening got an idea of? I don't know if you realize we're doing Name That Monster tonight, and I've posted on Facebook and 47 Talk hashtag 47 Talk pictures of a monster, and so we're having a little game at the same time. We'd love to hear from you. Post it on hashtag 47 Talk or call in, and if whoever wins the contest, I have a prize for you. I'm not gonna tell
a
you
prize from Wolfman.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Yeah.
Hey,
so it's Name That Monster
Wolfman.
Show.
Are you able to access the internet from where you're at there now?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you touched on this, but there was a story last year that was it was in the Indianapolis Star, and it was about the police or somebody came over to do a welfare check on a woman that had 3 or 4 kids or whatever. The police go in there, and there's like 2 or 3 of them there, and they witness weird crap going on in the house, like poltergeist type stuff. They take the kids out. They take the kids to the hospital, and at the hospital, it was. Yeah, do you know the story I'm talking about?
Yep, I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about when I was talking about the kids and having 10-year-old kids and stuff in the house or whatever. It was actually it was you talking about the Exorcist or the demon house of LaToya Ammons?
I'm not exactly sure where. I just know I read it in the Indianapolis Star where they're at the hospital, like allegedly walking up the damn wall.
Mm-hmm. They actually, since we were talking about it, I actually looked it up real quick. It was in the house that they were actually staying in or whatever. It was supposed to be in Gary, Indiana, and it says according to 2 unnamed clairvoyants, there's over 200 demons there, 3 possessed children, and the daughter levitated. One son who talked with an invisible boy growled and spoke in deep voice, and his brother walked backwards up a hospital exam room with a police officer, a nurse, child services, and I don't even know. I'm not going to say that because that's the same thing as nurse. But supposedly all 4 watched her older boy walk up the wall backwards, and it said that the Gary Police Department confessed that they were baffled. A captain's personal car seemed to also become possessed when the driver's seat began to move started to move real quick. The family moved out, and I know that supposedly, if a lot of people listening don't know a lot about the story, but this was the house that Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures actually bought.
No way.
Yeah, he bought the house, and they were going to do a documentary. And from my sources, I don't want to say that this definitely happened or this is the reason, but from what I've heard is that when they went to do the documentary of this place, that it took them forever to try to get a hold of these people, because not only was he trying to buy the house so he can do the investigation, but he was also trying to buy the house because Hollywood was trying to run and acquire the rights to it, so they could make the Demon House movie or some shit like that. So that's the reason why Zach bought it. And supposedly, from what I've heard on Deep Talk Radio, Brainwaves, is that here soon that they're actually going to be releasing the thing. And he said it's some of the most compelling evidence ever, and it'll definitely change everyone's mind about the paranormal.
Oh, very cool, very cool. I just couldn't believe that's the first thing I've heard about it. In the year since it's broke. I can't believe it's just been. I haven't heard anything till now.
Well, supposedly they're not. Zach did the documentary, and that they're about to be releasing it. But supposedly so much crazy shit was happening. Like they brought the lady that actually used to live next door or something like that. They brought her in the house, and supposedly like a couple days later, because Zach didn't want the kids in the house, but they came in anyway. Supposedly they had to do an exorcism on I think it was like one or two of the kids after leaving the house for the just the interview, and they said that they weren't even in there that long.
Wow.
And supposedly, from what I've heard, that's the reason why that Nick Groff's not a part of the group anymore, because him and somebody else, I guess, just saw that they were getting way too into this, and it was starting to affect people's feelings and their personalities and stuff like that. So he just cut off from it altogether and got away from it, which I respect for that. I mean, even though he's been friends with him for years, you know, if it's getting that too much close to home and you're taking it home and it's affecting your family, and then that's, you know, it's one of those times where you just need to separate it and go on your separate ways. But
I disagree. If that's your job, man, is chasing after these things, I think you got to follow all the way through. No excuses. Everyone that's close to you's got to understand what you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think it was just that. I think also, like I said, with the changing of the personalities and stuff, because I know they dealt with that stuff for a long time. Like Bobby Mackey's, I know from so many people telling me, not just my experience, but a lot of people just go there and they say that they have stuff follow them home, and it you know, Rand's ruckshot in their life for like ever, and it's just like, man, that's. So I mean, I kind of, you know, yeah, caveman, yeah. I was just about to say that. Yeah, they're trying to tear it down. They're trying to tear down that whole entire building because they don't want no one to deal with it and stuff like that. Which that's something that I don't agree with, because I mean, maybe knocking it down will kill all or not kill, but, you know, stop the hauntings and stuff. But on the flip side of it is, I think there's a way of not for him to buy it and just do what he can, especially if it's that hard evidence that they've been reporting.
How do they know there was 200 demons?
Supposedly a clairvoyant,
Okay.
if you want to say. I don't really believe too much into people like that, so they really have to hit on like dead on.
Okay,
me, like,
Johnny.
personally,
Okay,
need to find it.
Caveman Oog sent me a message saying that he heard from John E. Tenney that demon house has been demolished.
It has then.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I was going to say, because
Johnny
I know
Tenney,
Zach. I couldn't hear in the interview. I don't know if he said that it was demolished or it was getting demolished.
No, it's
but
demolished.
I know he said that he had to go through a lot of stuff to get it demolished.
Then why if it's that compelling of evidence, why the heck wouldn't the Catholic Church buy the damn thing and let every single person go in there for free, and when they come out they can sign up to join their church? Hell, they'd make $1 billion freaking dollars. I mean, seriously.
Yeah,
it'd be burning down
and those
crop
nasty people from the Catholic Church, you know, the ones behind it. They probably, once they hear this, they'll probably want to do that. Yeah.
I guarantee you there's way more people trying to demolish it than people wanting to keep it around.
I don't mean to like knock the Catholic Church completely, because there's good people in there too. But yeah, there's some weirdos, and I think there's a big conspiracy in there in that church.
Catholic nun. I've been to a Catholic church one time in my life. She's not Catholic anymore. She's on her third husband as we speak. So I don't know, but. Hell, would you knock down the freaking crazy house that's got the damn evidence? That's like freaking burying a goddamn UFO.
Oh, but you think...
And that's the part of it that really sucks about it, man, is it just really hurts their credibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they've built up a reputation in the past, but Ghost Adventures can release that documentary, and it might change people's way of thinking, but it kills the credibility that they knocked it down. So I can see your point on that, yes.
Well, it's that is like on a lot of these ghost shows. Something spooks them and they freaking take off running. It's like that's why you're there. What the hell are you running for? Freaking A. But yeah, I don't get why you tear this thing down. At least
now they probably got out. Who knows where they are? That's pretty spooky stuff.
Oh yeah, man. I've been so into that. As soon as I saw it on the news, I mean, like you were saying, you read it in the paper or saw it. You know, I saw it the same way. They were doing like a news thing or whatever, and it wasn't even. I don't even think the main lady was in it too much, but her mother was a lot. And they were taking them throughout the house and stuff like that. And just the look on this cop's face when he's in the house trying to do that, you could tell that dude was terrified.
Got to be great to interview him.
And that's what made it even. I mean, even if that's my job, I watch a boy climb backwards up a wall and into the corner. I don't care who you are, man. You're gonna want to get the fuck out of there too.
Yeah, that's what I don't. The story was so compelling. You have all these credible, witnesses at a hospital and stuff, and these kids are doing this stuff. My gosh, there was no follow-up story as far as the Indianapolis Star went. But hell, that should have been on the front freaking page.
I wonder how the kids are doing now.
It was all over the place.
Has there been a follow-up with how they're doing? All the people?
I haven't heard anything. I'm about to search. That's where I got that other story. Just by searching real quick, you just say something, I'll look it up.
And then they didn't have any follow up on it. It was like, what the hell, man? I mean, the Indianapolis Star is not the freaking National Enquirer, man. They got credentials and stuff. These writers over there are well respected, and how can you put a story out like that and then not even have a follow up? I don't know.
At least follow up with a weather balloon story.
Something. I mean, you got kids walking up a goddamn wall at a freaking hospital. And the next day, this woman's writing a freaking fluff piece about the goddamn Kardashians.
Oh wow! I gotta mention something. Guess who followed me on Twitter? You just mentioned her. You just mentioned her. Kim Kardashian. Yeah. Yeah, man.
So
Kim Kardashian.
Will you
West
to any unedited photos?
I have no idea. I just noticed it before I put the show on when that freaked me right out, and I'm not sure if it's the real person or not even, but it looks like it. It's got a lot of followers, but I haven't had time to really. That's freaky though. She may be listening.
Maybe she is. It's not like she's working.
Oh, Caveman said that he dated Clairvoyant, and Ugg picked her up, and she slapped Ugg straight away. It was almost like she knew what Ugg was planning. You guys
oh man,
Clairvoyant.
Then she might have been. You never know.
That's a good one.
Or maybe she knew that at the end of the night that it wasn't going to be pleasing or something.
Well, you know what he probably does on a date would probably consist of, eating by a open campfire, out and by his cave, and then probably bonk her on the head and then take her back in the cave. Drag her by her hair, Probably drag her by her hair, right? I don't know. Isn't that what cavemen do? Yeah, okay.
Funny doing it.
Ugg posted a link for me. Notorious Demon House torn down after purchase by Ghost Adventures Star.
Mm-hmm.
There was something that was very dark and yet highly intelligent and powerful.
So did the Ghost Adventures guy tear it down?
Yeah.
He bought it. Zach Bagans is the one who actually purchased it.
He needs to get off his goddamn high horse and quit burning freaking out. Jeez. What the hell would you do that?
Maybe something happened to him in there that really scared him.
The host and executive producer of Ghost Adventures, Zach Baggins, in early 2014.
He deserves a bonk.
Yeah. Do you think I should do it? Okay, Zach Baggins. Hang on. Here you go, buddy. Oh man, we're silly. Okay, what do we got? We got about 3-4 more minutes, and then we're on the top of the hour, and I'll throw another song on. This one I'm gonna play for Ugg because he likes this song. It's gonna be the Pyramid of Love. You guys got. I can just play it right now if you want.
Go for it.
You guys got.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna roll some vinyl, baby. Yeah. Shit, this is a good one. All right.
What?
All right.
What the hell would
We are back.
Yeah. Apparently, everybody's still ticked that the guy tore that house down, but I think the demons are still there. I really don't think that you can get rid of them that easily.
And plus, they did a lot of cleansings and stuff on in that building and exorcisms, and it still didn't get it away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
why the hell would we cleanse them? We want to see them.
I don't know. These ones
Makes
are pretty nasty.
sense.
Man.
I mean, shit. Look at freaking Ghostbusters. The cocksuckers had to fly around New York freaking city to make people actually believe that there's freaking ghosts. And these guys are going to do a goddamn cleansing to hide them? Bullshit. I'm sorry if Zach's your buddy, man, but I lost a little bit of respect for this son of a bitch.
It's like wiping before you poop. It don't make no sense.
Yeah, I know. I mean, seriously, you spend your career is proving that there is ghosts, and then you find one, you get scared, you shit your pants, you burn the fucking house down. That's fucking middle school shit. Son of a bitch. He's made a documentary maybe, but good Lord, man, leave it open. Let me go walk in there. Let me see it. I don't want to see it on TV. I want to experience it. You know? This makes no sense. This almost sounds like a con now.
Maybe he used that for the documentary at the end or something. Maybe we'll see why. Maybe he just said, now we're going to burn it down. And who knows? Maybe it'll be in the documentary.
You guys got to see this stuff on Twitter. We got a dance party going on. Some GIFs sent. Well, when that song was on, they're pretty funny. They're making. They're putting dance party little GIFs on while I put the music on now. This is awesome. That's shout out to Wisteria Whisper. Sorry. And Caveman for doing that. That's really cool.
How many listeners do we have tonight?
I didn't check.
Guess we'll find out later.
Has Kim Kardashian posted any nice GIFs up there?
Not yet. I'm wondering if that's a real one. It said London, England. Where does she live?
I don't think so.
I ain't even sure she lives on Earth.
Who are you talking about?
It says Kim Kardashian West.
I don't
in
give
London,
a fuck
England.
about her.
But it looks like her on the picture. But I don't know. I'll look into it later. But that's very interesting.
You do that, Wolfman.
Investigate, Wolfman, please.
Maybe she's not so shallow as we thought.
Yeah, you should do a deep investigation.
Oh, no, I'm married man.
Find out.
I don't go there with those kind of... did you see this other thing that she was with? Now it's a girl. Okay, never mind. I have nothing against...
That is still no woman.
Yeah.
No, that's her stepdad.
Oh, is it? I don't know. Whoa. Whatever it is scares me away.
Her, man.
He raised her.
Wheaties box.
Okay. Yeah. He's the Wheaties guy. Wasn't he? I remember on the cover of... what was the box that he was always on the cover of? Wheaties?
Wheaties.
Yeah. 1976. He won the decathlon.
Yeah.
It's Bruce Jenner. He's a stud.
No shit.
Yeah, it was.
He was amazing at the time. Everybody loved him. Everybody talking, hey, I want to be like Bruce Jenner, you know? Who was the tennis guy at the time that was really funny? The one that used to throw his tennis racket all the time.
John McEnroe?
Yeah. He was funny too, man. That guy was funny.
He was the best.
That was. They don't have tennis like that. Can you imagine? You know what I mean? They don't have tennis like that anymore. You could watch a tennis, and you're so entertained by this guy. You know, you got so mad. What a temper!
Because he's normally right. Because he had such good vision. He was normally right. If his ball was out, now they have replay. They don't have to get mad. They just go replay.
Oh, that's why we don't have this going on anymore. They got to take the replay. They got to take that out so that they can still get mad and argue. It's more fun.
I like the replay. I like all replays in football, baseball. I don't think it ruins the sport. I think it's great.
Carpet munching, whatever, right?
Yeah, instant replay.
Yep. Somebody put the South Park kids there on the carpet when we were talking about carpet munching. You remember Cartman?
Can you I'm going to eat the box.
He's going to eat the box.
What's that mean?
Cartman, oh, that was a good episode, man. And then I think that's the one where he sees his mother in a porno by accident. And there's a German guy that's standing over top of his mother's face, and he's going, Edmund Scheiser, Edmund Scheiser.
I haven't seen that one.
You know what that means, though, right? I don't think everybody realizes that, because I speak a little bit of Flemish, but Edmund Scheiser means eat my shit.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
So, Willie, how long's it been since you were on a date before tonight?
On a date?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't go on dates anymore.
So where'd you meet this girl that you went out with tonight?
Oh, at a bonfire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I seriously have not been on a date, and I don't even remember last damn time. I cut out the middle, man. I save a few bucks, bring them out to a bonfire, some beers, and bam, it's good. Relationship start.
So BYOBBW.
And you got to put an F in there for the fire, yeah.
Oh yeah.
If I had to go take, as I posted in Bell Gap, man, I'm trying to move here in the next 2 weeks or so. Chasing after that damn girl that's really nice, that's got the damn lazy eye. This one I might have to actually on 8. But I don't do because we got a movie theater here, and they're freaking always showing the damn 3D movies. And honestly, I don't know if it'd be freaking rude to take a girl with a lazy eye into a freaking 3D movie.
I think we should do the next hour on all the dates you've had. This is funny.
Dude,
I got some really, my buddy asked me the other day, he's like, what's the, it's still we can still put it in the ballpark of scary, I've had someone ask me about the worst, the scariest sex story I've ever heard. And it terrified. I felt so. The guy's name is Brumley. I really felt so bad for the guy because he went about 2 weeks in school. People coming up to him, calling him nicknames, calling him PV, and he said, Chris, you got to find out why everyone's calling me PV and laughing. I have no idea. I have no clue. And I was, well, I'll figure out. I'll see what's going on. So I started asking around a couple places, and they said, oh, hey, did you go to that big bonfire kegger party? And I said, no, I didn't go to it. Why? And they said, well, because when Scott Brumley was there, he was getting he was getting involved with a woman, right? And he decides not to go straight in, if you know what I mean. Decides to
okay, we got to cut you off right there. We're having a song. We'll finish the rest of the story after this break. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. All right, rock and roll, baby. Yeah. Except.
I'm very
Psychedelic will hypnotize, relax, close your eyes. Turn up the sound, try to slow them down. Dead on the ground.
Wow. Everybody's making small sound mistakes tonight, but not too bad. We're doing all right tonight, I think. We're doing really good. Just muting our mics when we are walking in and out of a room and forgetting to mute your mic or whatever. It's not too bad. Everyone's doing a lot better than when we first started, that's for sure. Yeah. Where were we?
We were at the bonfire.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
His
yeah.
friend,
Sorry,
the
I forgot
PV.
that was my cue. Oh yeah, but they were at a bonfire type of kegger type party, you know what I mean? And supposedly, to make the long story short, he was performing oral on this girl and threw up on her. So for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, without him remembering anything that happened, people were coming up to him, calling him PV, which stood for puke vag.
What?
Got it.
Yeah, that's
blame
probably one of the scariest things. And I felt so bad for the guy. Like for the longest time, I felt so bad for him because he told me, he goes, man, I understand that the story, if you weren't a part of it, it'd be funny or whatever. He goes, but dude, there's no way I can have a girlfriend now for the rest of high school. There's no way.
You'd have to switch schools, definitely.
Oh yeah, I told him, I was like, man, you need to get girlfriends somewhere else. I've never heard that story. I said, because one story like that fucks up your whole love life, and not even whatever you got into will take that image out of your mind.
This man, legend. He's a connoisseur. It's the woman's fault, and all the rest of the world that he's only after high class girls. Don't give me a snatch to munch on that with freaking puke on. So elevate
supposedly he's not a big whiskey drinker, and he just drank way too much whiskey. And one thing happened, and which is I just felt so bad for the fact that he was going around that whole time and had no idea what the hell people were talking about. And he for real had no idea. And this went on for weeks. And even me, I'm sitting there going, what the hell is this? I've never heard. His name's Scott Brumley. It's, we all call him Brumley, so I don't know why people would be calling him that. And then when I found out the real reason, I first laughed my ass off. And then after that, I felt so bad for the guy. I was like, man, I don't even know what to do. I was like, I'm about to just offer my sister up to you just because I feel bad or something,
Just go on a radio show and mention it and make him feel better about it.
If someone called PV, say hell yeah, PV pipe.
Well, what if your sister was not interested?
Oh, if she wasn't interested, then they would all. She knew about it too. Everybody knew. That's what's sad about it. Everybody knew about that. My sister is 3 years younger than me, and she, in fucking middle school, they were talking about it, and that to me is just like, man, all the teachers knew. That's what I'm saying. Everybody knew, not just the students. The teachers knew somehow. I've heard the lunch ladies making the little jokes to him about, well, hey, you better, if I give this burrito to you, you're going to be able to keep it down? Stuff like that. And that was the greatest thing. So picture a guy walking around for 2 weeks going, why is that funny? I don't understand why are people telling me oh, you need a trash can? You need a trash can? Or, hey, so-and-so's coming over, you better, should she wrap it? And he has no idea what the fuck they're talking about, you know what I mean? So
hey, Chris,
because of that is probably one of my scariest stories that I've ever heard, because scary as far as if that ever happened to me, I don't know what I would do except for take your advice and just blame it on the fucking girl. It's all her. A monster climbed up there and died, and that's the reason why this happened, you know what I mean? I
would have taken him to a taco bar.
Hey, Chris, I I just noticed you posted on 47 hashtag 47 talk. Name this monster, LOL. he posted Bruce Jenner.
I thought it was funny. You know, I mean, I'll get somebody tomorrow that'd be like, I saw on your page that you're putting down, you got something against transgender people. And I'm going to be like, no, I don't, man.
Nope.
I have nothing against anybody, but it's just funny.
It's just funny, yeah. I don't
It's
know
just
why.
funny. I mean, take a joke.
That's right. If you're going to do that, you got to expect...
Or take some sleeping pills or whatever in the hell you need to sleep next to that.
Well,
You know,
to
hates
each
fuck
his own, but
trannies.
I find it humorous. Anyway. I wouldn't be like impolite to somebody like that, but I can't help laughing sometimes about it.
Well, if it was someone we didn't know, it'd be totally different. But it's someone that we knew. That was even God rest his soul or whatever people say. Even Michael Jackson, like, as much as people want to be like, well, that's not right to do that because it was his decision and it's his body, and I get that, but you still have to see I've had people tell me, well, he wasn't an ugly black guy, and I'm just like, okay, you're making it more funny for me, because if he's not a ugly black guy, then why would he do that? But that's all his prerogative, and if the person wants to do it, then go ahead and let him do it, But I don't get mad when I laugh about how dumb they look, though. So
yeah. So let's get
trying to look dumb. I'm just trying to be.
Let's get back to Willy's story when his mic was screwing up on the show. Can we go to that and finish your story about the orbs? Because it was
that's a great idea.
It was terrible audio on that show. So let's go back to that.
I don't remember where we left off, or
well,
you were on a boat out in the ocean. You saw some weird things in the sky.
Orbs.
It was like 2 weeks ago. That wasn't tonight.
No, we're talking about the show from 2 weeks ago. Because you were in and out. The audio was horrible.
The Skype was terrible, so your story didn't come out very good. So I wouldn't mind if you tell us over again what happened when you saw those orbs.
Well, it was basically I was coming in at night, whatever, and up ahead of me I saw, this isn't a ghost story. It was like aliens, whatever. But I saw the orb go up, and my initial thought was I thought this was flares. But where I was at, there was, no other boats and all that junk. And anyway, it kind of went up in the middle there. And it seemed like it broke apart in 5 or 6 different ways. And kind of danced around, went around, and then they all came back. And then basically it shot up. So I don't know what the hell it was. But I don't know.
I've seen something very similar where they go apart and then join together, and then come apart again, and sometimes into more numbers, and then shoot up and disappear, just like that. What you said, orbs, the same thing.
Well, like I said, my initial thing was because it seemed really bright, and I don't remember it all exactly, but it was like a Roman candle thing shooting out of the water. So my initial thought was it was flares. But then as I watched this thing, I actually left the cabin and I went outside the cabin and I saw it with my own eyes. Because looking back on it, you could say, all right, light can do weird things with rain or whatever on your, on your windshield and stuff. But I got out of the cabin, actually looked over and just watched it with my own eyes, without a glass or anything in front of me. And it was definitely something out there, and I hate stories about orbs because I think they're bullshit when people report all these orbs and all that, But, hey, it's all I saw. It was just orbs, and they split apart, came back together, and then it shot straight up as one thing. So it is what it is. I don't know. Did
it change your life at all, or how you thought about UFOs? No.
No, the only thing it did, and I actually talked to Steve Warner about this like a year or so ago, was since then, whenever I go fishing, I always kept video camera with me. And unfortunately, I have not been able to, witness the same thing or whatever, because I thought I could actually film it, right on the deal. But,
how long have you been fishing, Willie?
I don't know, maybe 6 years.
Have you ever been stuck in a storm out there? Or surprised by a storm?
Oh,
Any good stories where you thought you were going to bite it? Capsize?
Yeah, actually, I I took almost a year off of fishing. I almost thought I almost died out there one time, but it was just everything in a big ass storm. But made it back home, so whatever.
And you hung it up for a year? That must have been a big storm.
Well, and my freaking boat was busted up, so whatever.
Huh.
No, it was bad. Yeah, I actually thought I wouldn't. There was the one time I was certain I was not going to make it back. But,
how big were the waves?
I don't know. I don't know that the waves were that big. I just know that the wind was blowing, so it was the swell that got me more than the waves. And then you had the swell, and then I lost all my power, and I didn't have any electronics. I didn't have any power to a motor. Just out there basically drifting, and I was my boat's not that damn big, and the swells were, where you can see, I didn't see it, but just as reference, but you could see the stars, and then you can't see them because you're in that big of a swell, and you can't right yourself to be right with the waves. So it could have tipped over at any time and all that junk, but yeah, it worked out. So
what? This is a dumb question. What is a swell versus waves? What is a swell?
Well, the swell is just the
big waves.
Yeah. They're basically the same damn thing, but you're always going to have, as your tide comes in and out and stuff, you're going to have, where you're sitting out there in a calm day or whatever, you'll kind of bob up and down.
Yeah.
And then that gets accentuated. So they're basically waves. But,
so there's huge waves, which are called swells, and then there's smaller waves in the swells.
Well,
is that right?
The waves I look at them is when they start white capping, and then you're like, well, those are giant waves, but they're basically the same thing. The swell is basically depending on the tide and stuff. But then you get a crazy big tide like the night I was out there, combined with freaking, I don't know, 80 mile an hour wind or whatever the hell it was. It just, everything worked against itself.
And then you lost power. Did you get power back, or did you get rescued, or what?
No, I stayed out there, maybe floated around for, hell, I don't know. I don't know. Everything went wrong at night. Trying to think when I got back. I don't know. I was probably out there maybe 12 hours before I could get home.
Did you get it started up?
No, I have a little 9.9 horsepower kicker motor that I rigged up real fast. And I didn't have a gas tank for it. And my gas tanks for my main motor were all fucked up. So I had a McDonald's cup that was laying up there in the forecastle there. I cut one of the lines, and I'm out there. It's freaking blowing so damn hard you can't even see. And I was trying to pour gasoline. I only had 1 or 2 gallons of gasoline, whatever the hell it was. I'm trying to cup it. I'm trying to pour it into this McDonald's cup after I hooked up the freaking motor out there. And I'm pouring in this McDonald's cup, and I'm trying to hover over it so that it's not just drenched with water. But I was siphoning gas through that. And I was able to where I was at, and then, yeah, worked out. Shit happens.
Were you by yourself?
Well, I had my little dog with me.
No, you had your dog. Oh my God, that just sounds horrifying, scary as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, freaking scary! I can't even tell you how scary it was. It's hard to explain. Because I mean, if you're out in a, say you're a trucker.
Hey, did you have any missing time?
What's that?
Did you have any missing time?
I don't think
No.
so, Wolf. I don't think so.
So you got
No,
the little engine rolling, and then you putted back to shore in the morning, or did you make it in at night?
Well, I was tell Wolfman, I wish I had missing time. It seemed to drag out forever.
Oh God, that'd be awful.
Yeah.
And so once you had the little motor on there, were you able to control it through the swells?
Well, I didn't go where I wanted to go. You know what I mean? I had to. I couldn't go against. I couldn't go against the tide. I couldn't go against. I couldn't go against the wind even.
No,
And the
not with
wind-
the little teeny engine.
So no, I had to. I used that. I used the motor just as a. I had to go the way the wind was pushing me, and I used that as my steering wheel basically.
Sure.
So.
Oh, all night long.
Yeah.
For 12 hours?
Maybe I don't remember exactly how long it was, but it was 12 hours. Well,
Too long.
motor running for probably. I had the motor running. I can't imagine I had the motor running more than 30 minutes.
So you made it back to shore, like where you wanted to go to shore, or did you just go to shore wherever?
No, I ended up freaking probably 30 miles from where I wanted to be. But
Oh my God. So what'd you do? Did you go to shore there and just dock up and fix the engine, or what?
yeah, I stayed there. I did. It was an electrical problem that I had, and I had another 2 other batteries. I'd fucked myself. I had these gel batteries that I had charged up, but I didn't know that you have to have a different charge on a gel battery. You can't just put a regular battery charger up to those. And so I had fried one, and I had 2 of them. And both of them, each one of those some bitches are $500 each. And so I had fried one of them, and the other one had drained out. And I don't know why I did it, but a week or 2 ago, or before, I had put just a regular ass car battery, and I had that in my boat. And so the next day or whatever, I was able to use that car battery and connect it to the one halfway dead battery that I had to get the main engine started, and then I was good to go. So.
And then you went back and took a year off. Man, that's a great story.
Well, it gets worse, man. My girlfriend dumped my ass literally within like 3 days of that shit happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a day like that once in college. I went camping, and I came back and all my shit was stolen. And then my girlfriend came in and said that she slept with someone else, and then we broke up all on the same day.
Nice. Well,
was-
it's a clean break.
Oh man.
No, I go in. This wasn't that exact same night. It was like a few days later. I come back in there and I'm like, what the hell? I couldn't even get in my freaking bedroom because you open the door up, and this is when I lived in an apartment in town. There was a bed that was the freaking size of goddamn Dallas sitting in there. I'm like, what the hell? She goes, oh yeah, I got this new bed. And I'm like, freaking A, man, that's the biggest bed I've ever seen in my life. And I was thinking, well, it's kind of cool, you know. Come to find out later on, she married the sumbitch. Maybe, I don't know, 2 months later. He's like freaking 7 damn feet tall. She bought this bed so she could be doinking his freaking gigantic ass while I'm out dealing with my...
When you're out fishing.
Oh, that's shitty, man. Okay. Now, we have
I think
coming up to the party hour here, and we're gonna play some more heavy metal songs, I think. Yeah. Hopefully this works.
back in a minute or two. I don't know.
I know a place you've never heard. Sorcery can be called by wood. Bring it on now! Stand alone, raise your fist to the sky. Let me hear your battle cry. Sacrifice to the sun on high. The magic is about to die. When the seeds are sown and the winds are blowing, awaken the magic of the ancient time. I feel the heat from the stone racing forth to the bone. Ow! When the circle is incomplete, the west and the east will meet. Then the magic will begin to rise up from its dark deep minds. When the seeds are sown and the winds are blowing, awaken the magic from the ancient times. When the seeds are sown and the winds are blowing, awaken the magic from the ancient time. Oh, I know a place you've never heard. Sorcery can be called power. Stolen! Stand alone, raise your fist to the sky. Let me hear your battle cry. Sacrifice to the sun on high. The magic is about to die. When the seeds are sown and the winds are blowing, awaken the magic from the ancient time. When the seeds are sown and the winds are blowing, awaken the magic from the ancient time. When the seeds are sown and the winds are blowing, awaken the magic from the ancient time. When the seeds are sown and the winds are blowing, awaken the magic from the ancient time.
I guarantee he's
Oh,
going to use that as part
we
of
are
his
back.
documentary.
We are back. Hey.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Oh man, everybody's freaking out now. You know what we got to do? We're gonna have to give special bonks out to Willie. Who is it again? Who gets the bonks?
Willie's ex-girlfriend's 7-foot lover.
Okay, 1 for him, 2 for him, and for the ex-lover, an extra one. Ugg says should have a seance live on this show with his panel. Or close to Halloween. That might be a good idea. Well, I don't know, a seance, but what we could do is try to everybody just totally turn off all sources of light. Turn off all your screens, so we're still on, but have complete darkness. I don't know if we could do that.
Well, that's what I'm doing right now.
We wouldn't be able to read the Twitter or anything. We just do the show in complete darkness, like almost like an isolation tank. So your mind starts just messing with you. That's a cool idea.
I always find it easier on the radio just to be in the dark. Whenever I'm on the computer, it never works as well.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't be distracted. You can't be distracted looking at stuff like that when you're trying to do a show. You kind of got to stay in the moment and listen, and then ideas come to your head. At least with me.
I think a lot of people probably died out on us too. It's getting late, but they'll always listen to the ending the next day. but I'm not getting as much chat going on anymore here. But I've got one story to share
Tell
with
us.
you guys. What happened last
Yeah.
weekend? Me and
recent story.
there's two tenants that live in the basement of this house, and we are all outside in the backyard, and it's the middle of the afternoon. And I noticed something. My hair stood on end, and I knew something was going to happen. And I looked up to the east, and I saw something shimmering and flickering in the sky. And I pointed it out to the guys, and they said, "What? No, I can't see it." And then I said, "No, up further, up further." And I went right beside, and I pointed it out. Then they could both see it. It was coming in and going out. It was fading in and fading out, and flickering and shimmering, moving around in circles. Really weird looking thing. It was appearing and disappearing.
How fast was it moving, Wolfman?
Jeez, it's hard to say. It was way, way up there. As high as, those planes that spray shit. Anyways, what is that? How high are those planes, do you think?
30,000 feet, aren't they?
That's what I was going to say, 20,000 feet, about that, I would say. And maybe not that far up, but it's hard to really say when you have nothing to reference it with. There's no other object beside it to reference the distance, but that's what it looked like, about like a plane that high up, like a small little thing. And it came down lower, and then it just stayed on. It was not flicking in and out. Then it was just on and moving more in a straight line, and came over top of us. And when we saw underneath of this thing, it did look like it had wings, but they were not flapping. It was more like a solid object, but it wasn't flapping, making any noise. It's not leaving a trail.
Did you think to grab your camera?
It was too small in the sky. I tried to focus in on it. I couldn't get a clear picture of it with my camera. It wouldn't focus that far away. But everyone was right freaked out. Like, the three of us were just like, what the hell was that? That was at first these guys thought it's a bird, and I said, look again. That's solid. The thing's solid. Those wings are not flapping. It's a solid object. Like, it looked like a white metallic object that had two wings coming off to the side that were not like any other airplane or aircraft design I've ever seen. It's really strange.
That's cool. You think it was one of ours?
It could have been some kind of a military drone, but why would it be going around in circles and then appearing and disappearing? And it almost looked at a couple times like it turned into an orb, and then it back into a different shaped. It was morphing.
Well, that's really interesting.
And and then it just it flew off and disappeared. So it didn't go up in the sky this time. This thing just kept on going towards probably the area of Detroit, towards Windsor, and then Detroit, that direction.
Maybe the light reflecting on it.
That was pretty creepy. But
that is pretty crazy, man. I've never seen anything up in the sky that I could definitely say is like a UFO. You know what I'm saying? Or anything like that. Like, I've never seen anything that made me go, "Oh, hey, that's not an airplane and that's not this." So when it comes to UFOs, that's like an area that I just I don't really know a lot about. I mean, do you think that the sightings of that kind of stuff is like still as prominent now than it was like in the 70s and 80s and 90s and stuff? Like, do you think they see it? Do you think people report seeing a lot more UFOs now than they did back then?
Oh yeah.
I don't think so. You think so?
It's about the same, but there's more people. But the percentage-wise is probably about the same. But there's Peter Davenport said it keeps going up. and it's getting really escalating.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's why I was get your guys' opinion on that.
I thought there was more in the 90s. It seemed like everybody was getting good video in the 90s. Of course, people had video cameras then, and it's just like you said about your phone or whatever you had to try to record that. It's hard on phones, even though a lot more people have phones. It's a lot harder to get an up-close shot of something at a distance, so maybe that's why. Because you would think with everybody carrying a camera, we would get more. But it doesn't seem like we're getting that much more video of UFOs. Remember those ones in Mexico? Holy cow. In the 90s? They had like 10 people videotaping the same thing at like an air show in Mexico. And they could figure out how big it was and everything. It made news in Mexico. It made worldwide news. You just don't see those kind of videos anymore. I don't, anyways.
Yeah, that's a really good point, especially with like you said, with all the technology and stuff nowadays. You think I think about that all the time when I think of, and I discuss with people Bigfoot. I automatically think that because I'm just like, man, if nowadays, I mean, I don't know. There's so many drones and there's cameras. There's cameras in the Amazon right now just sitting there. We could hit a button and see what's there. You know, we got Google Maps, we got, or Google Earth or whatever the hell it's called. Like, to me, it's just crazy. I know there's species that that we'll discover here and there because of climates and locations and stuff like that. But something as big as that or whatever, I just it's hard for me. Like back then, I could see, well, yeah, there's no way we'd be able to find that because our technology and the video cameras and people are out there searching and stuff like that. But like you're right with the technology just so much different than it is now or back then than it is now. Like you're right. Like you should be able to catch like better stuff. You know what I mean? HD too.
I know everyone has a camera now. And it's changed so much.
Carry a video camera with me, but I was one of those guys that I can say, "Damn it, I didn't get a picture," But the other thing I think about is, back in the old days, you think you'd hear more reports of UFOs because they didn't have the light pollution, number one. And number two, at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, there wasn't anything on TV. So if you're out on a date or just hanging out, you're sitting out on the front porch and you're looking up at the sky. And so it's weird that you have more sightings now as opposed to then. You think everyone would be seeing stuff back then. Just my 2 cents.
So you're saying that if you were out somewhere and you saw a Bigfoot go into the building and you knew it was there, that while Bigfoot was in it, you would burn it down so no one saw anything.
Well,
am I right? I'm just joking.
I wonder what Bigfoot tastes like.
That's what Richard Hoagland would do. If he proves there's a freaking book on freaking Pluto, he's going to come back. That's basically the same thing. Oh, yep. Everything we need to know is on Pluto, but we don't need to know, so we're going to freaking nuke it. That's what this son of a bitch did, burning down that damn house. That shit still doesn't make any sense.
It really grinds your gears.
Yeah. I wish I didn't know.
Really grinds my gears. You, Zach Bagans. You really grind my gears for doing that to me and to the world. I totally agree with you, man. I part of me is like, God, they should, because they're protecting a lot of people from going in there. But on the flip side of it is, I would if before I knocked it down, I would have had fucking for 3 months, one time only for this amount of time. Let's bring you in and show you here and bring your cameras and bring and then you could have seen, and then after that, knock it down. I don't care.
What does this son of a bitch think he is up on his high horse? Who's going to bed tonight saying their damn prayers, and the last thing they do is thank you, Zach, for not letting the damn demons kill us. Thank you for
I tell you who's saying their prayers, brother. I can still tell you who's saying their prayers and eating their vitamins. Go ahead.
I freaking Zach, I'll tell you that much. Freaking hubris. This is the definition of hubris. Or he's a con man. I don't know. But
he probably gets that all the time too. You know what I mean? He's probably sick of fucking hearing that 24/7. You know what I mean? Just like a wrestler would, or just like a baseball player would. Do you guys really hit real baseballs? What the fuck? Why in the fuck would you ask me that? But then you think you hear about people using this and deflating footballs and all this other shit. It makes, as dumb as it sounds, you got to ask that question. You got to go up to him every time and say, man, what was your thinking beyond that? And when he tells you the reason why he did it, you kind of want to stop and go, well, yeah, but you don't understand. You caught lightning in a bottle. So I see your point definitely.
He had the proverbial Bigfoot. And instead of marching the son of a bitch in to sleep with my ex-girlfriend, he's going to picture make the documentary, then shoot him and bury him out in an unmarked fucking grave. Show me the son of a bitch. That's all I ask. No, he's going to burn it down. What the fuck? It makes no sense. Sorry about my cussing. And, literally, he could have marched Bigfoot in to all the living rooms, but he decides he's going to film it and then save our souls, make us feel good about him. Damn the Eucharist, man! What the hell? This guy must be living up on a freaking Swiss Alp, looking down on us. Damn him! He had proof. Everyone that wants to know shit should be burning this son of a bitch's house down because he fucked us out of the truth.
Oh.
God damn that son of a bitch in Zach.
All right. I bonked him already. Settle down. You know what? When I lived in St. Thomas, Ontario, there was a college called Alma College, and it was really haunted. And the kids would go in there and see shit every day. They're on this one stairway. I think there was a girl that hung herself or something, and you'd see her hanging on the rope in this stairway. It was really creepy, and the kids would always go in there. And then one day somebody burned that fucking thing down. Everyone was so upset. Same thing. It was a really cool spot. All the paranormal crews were going in there at the time, and wow, and they burned it down. Yeah, the whole thing. A whole town could see this. Flames, big, huge flames. It was just like, all of a sudden, like it was like New York City. What the hell is going on? All this smoke and shit. But it was
I guarantee you he's going to use that for the grand finale of his documentary, I bet.
And if he doesn't, then like he said, what the fuck?
I agree, yes. But I bet he uses it for the film. Just a guess.
Hey, this is a random topic for you guys, real quick. Are any of you guys like real religious?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Well, I actually ran into this video and paranormal group on YouTube. I think it's like, I'm trying to remember that. It's like Supernatural Media or something weird like that. But they they still do the paranormal investigations like pretty much everybody else. But I've never seen and if people do this, I just don't see it a lot. But they take a different approach to it as far as bringing a fellow investigator who is a preacher with them, and if they know that they're coming in contact with spirits that are wanting to cross over to the other side, they have him kind of do that, and they kind of take a more of a religious approach to that, and they also claim that they have an angel, which they got EVPs and stuff of it, which you can go check it out on YouTube, and they're catching people saying, or someone's voice on the recorder saying that that the angel is David, and that David follows them around as well as other investigators and stuff around the world and everything like that, trying to basically help spirits into the light and stuff like that. But I saw that, and I was really fascinated with it, because you watch a lot of these shows and you don't see that. You don't see a lot of these shows, like they'll pray maybe before they go in, but they don't say, go into the light or anything like that. Like, is that something that you guys think that is like a cool, unique way on it, or is it something that's going on now and this is the first time I've seen it?
hell no, that I do not like that at all.
You gotta tell the spirits to go back to the light if you want to be nice. Keeping them there, they don't know any better. A lot of these spirits need to be told about that, and especially children spirits, like spirits of children. That's just cruel to keep them around when you gotta instruct them on what to do. Some of them don't realize they're dead. Anyways, we got some breaking news here from Wisteria Whisper. 8 people were injured during a stabbing attack at Minnesota shopping mall that ended with the suspected attacker, who was dressed in a private security uniform and made references to Allah, shot dead by an off-duty police officer, authorities said. St. Cloud Police Chief Blair Anderson said that during a news conference shortly after midnight that the people were taken to St. Cloud Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, followed by the attack first reported about 8 p.m. on Saturday at the Crossroads Center. No further details were released as of yet. And also, yeah, and also, wasn't there some explosions in New York City? Does anybody know anything about that? We got like 10 minutes left in the show.
Yeah.
Yep, there was one explosion next to a garbage dumpster. Is a big explosion, and then they found a pressure cooker a few blocks away. I forget what neighborhood it was, but 29 people got injured. I don't know if anyone's died though. But that's a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I got some more on the other topic. The other article. It says Anderson declined to call the attacks an act of terrorism, saying the motive for the attacks isn't known yet. We will be diligent to get to the bottom of this. Starting tomorrow, things won't be the same here. Local police and authorities have no reason to believe anyone else was involved in the attacks. The stabbings occurred in several places within the mall, including corridors, businesses, and common areas. So he's just randomly going around stabbing people. That's terrible, man.
It's good thing there was a cop with a gun there. He probably was just a plain clothes guy carrying. Off duty, he was carrying. Because they can carry wherever they want. Any cop can carry a gun wherever.
There's more to it. There was shots reported during the attack. And then, so that sounds to me like there was more people involved right there. It goes on. She called me on the phone and told me she was hiding under the counter with a customer. She later called and said she was safe in secured area. That's one of the people. She was outside of the mall. Samuels remained inside watching for her. Said he seen her through the glass doors at one point, so he knew she was safe. Okay. There's no more really. Yeah. All of a sudden I heard a pop, pop, pop. Harley, I can't read that name, told the St. Cloud Times, I thought someone tipped over a shelf. All of a sudden I saw these people started running. I saw everybody running out of the way. Sounds like crazy, man. Somebody going around stabbing somebody like randomly all through the mall, but shots being fired at the same time, and then an off-duty police officer took the guy out.
It must have been earlier today. There's no
8 p.m.
mall open right now.
8 p.m. Yeah.
Well, I think that guy deserves a bonk.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
Agreed.
Even no matter if he's what he is, whatever he is, he still deserves a bonk. That's terrible. Okay, we got, 8 minutes left?
I was trying to bring up this story that someone sent me also that I didn't hear about. Something about they found some bombs. They found something at the Marines 5K run or something.
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that too. And they shut it down. They found some bombs and they shut it down for a little bit or something. Yeah, there's been a lot of activity today.
Yeah, that was from Anthony Barnett, by the way, who and Wisteria Whisper posted it, but I a lot of times check his Twitter feed because he's got some great news items all the time. So thank you, Anthony Barnett and Wisteria Whisper.
Cool.
I'm gonna wrap this up soon. So if anybody wants to plug anything, now's the time. If you got websites or anything you want to let the listeners know where to get a hold of you or chat with you, now's the time to do it.
Willie, you want to plug the Bill Gabbers?
Nah, not really. I got nothing to...
It looks like our show got interrupted too, and then it came back on. But at least
when? God,
Ugg told me he lost the feed and then it came back.
Do you think that's what that popping noise was?
So, but that's okay. It came back in, so whatever happened. It was probably from my server, from Spreaker itself.
All right.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on, man. And if anyone wants to hit me up on Twitter, it's at about just choking right now. It's at 420 Wrestling Pod. That's POD. And check me out on my YouTube channel, Chris Lawrence 420, where I talk about wrestling and the paranormal, and just like to bring friends on and people just to BS and everything. So,
all right.
Wow,
we sure enjoyed having you on.
It
was fantastic conversation.
Man. Oh yeah, thank you very much.
Anytime, man.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I don't
thank
have
you so much.
Too much of a crazy life here anymore, so anytime, man.
Great stories. Caveman Ugg also says that there was an explosive device found near Marine 5K run today.
That's it.
I'm not sure what that is. Marine.
They're finding bombs all over the place.
That's crazy. Okay. What about Willie? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Thanks a lot for calling in, and love the stories, man. Love ya.
No, I wish I didn't hear the freaking show because son of a bitch.
You're still mad about that, eh? Oh my!
I hate that Bob Barker. God,
bastard.
It makes sense.
Wow.
I mean, it's your job to prove. and the son of a bitch. Oh. There's a ghost here. I better burn it down because my uterus and you people down there can't handle freaking truth. Zach, freaking pyromaniac bastard. Got me triggered here, man.
Wow.
I wanted to just come home.
Love it.
And I got shot out by the freaking ugliest girl in this town. I was going to snuggle up with the dog. And I see you posting on that damn show, and I'm like, oh, Wolfman. I get on Skype, and now I'm freaking 3 in the damn morning, ticked off that this bitch did that. And now I'm burning my brats out there. I've been barbecuing for 3 freaking hours.
Well, I'm glad that she went home because you're a legend on this program now.
Yes.
Doesn't freaking win tomorrow against the Steelers. I blame you guys. Fuck this. This is horrible. Yeah. You do not have my permission to replay this show.
Oh my Lord! It's already
He's not going to
live,
sign off on anything, okay?
Yeah.
It's all going to end now.
If Zach's your friend, he's probably a cool dude, but man, he is terrible at business. I mean, son of a...
Good night, everybody. I mean, good morning.
Hey, guys.
You guys have...
He's already been bogged. It's okay.
Demons fill the minds of those who will succumb.
Standing alone in the rain, twisted in vain. I hear your voice once again, screaming in pain. You You're the one who got my name. You're the blame. You can't fool me. I know you well. You are the one. You can't fool me. I know you well. You are the one from hell. Oh, wow. I see your face once again. Am I going insane? You play with those you will maim. Burn them in flame. You try to make me play your game, but I'm not the same. No, no! You can't fool me. I know you well. You are the one. Oh, you can't fool me. I know you well. You are the one. The god of hell. You can't fool me. I know you well. You are the one. Oh, you can't fool me. I know you well. You are the one from hell. Oh, wow. Your feet on the field that shoots rain from a tormented brain. An innocent lamb lying lame is your only pain. You try to make me play your game, but I'm not the same. You can't fool me. Well, you are the one. Oh, you can't fool me. I know you well. You are the one from hell. Look inside